This episode of Keeping Tabs is brought to you by Doot Loot, your one-stop shop for Japanese and Russian foils. If you spend $100 or more, you'll earn free entry into our online cEDH league this month. So don't miss out and upgrade your deck's bling today.
Yeah. Looks like Keeping Tabs is back on the menu, boys. We got a lot of us here tonight.
Some would say all of us.
Show up on you guys' end. From the way it's on my screen from left to right, we've got Jordan Q, Logan and Jason, two halves of the same coin. Jax Pete, me, Jarek Beagle, and then Austin C.
We were joking.
Those were wondering where the J my name come from. We've recently had a huge influx of viewers, which we're super grateful for. And we've been hitting the lab, trying to do some research, figure out what it is. We're testing a theory that it's the amount of people on our team who have J in their name. So I'm trying to help us get to 10K. You do your part.
Sorry. The artist formerly known as Eric said that if we got to 10K before the end of February, he'd legally change his name to Jarek. So
so get subscribing.
Come on, guys.
And Austin with the J is just Justin, really.
No,
so.
dude, it's Justin.
That's so disturbing to me. I just found this out today, and I was like, wait a second. Those are totally different names.
Hold on.
And it's
Dude,
one
this
letter.
is a story from 7th grade when I was dating some girl. One of my friends was named Justin, and she literally was like, hey, did you guys know that your guys' names end with Austin? And I was like, what?
Do unlocks.
Why is there no Bustin?
You know who else name ends in Austin? Far North MTG. Austin.
Yeah, we're really happy to partner with these guys. Zach is awesome. He's doing a lot of great gameplay, and if you want to get into our league for the month, just subscribe to their Patreon, send us a message, submit a ticket, and you'll get free entry for the month. We're almost at 500 members this month. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and there's a video, I think it's Logan, Austin, and I just did a gameplay with them last month before, something like that.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I think that there was 2 games played in that video.
Is it that?
Yeah,
Is that that game?
Yeah, it's that one, Tivit Magda. Yeah.
Dude, apparently I can't count to how to cast Atraxa in that video, but it doesn't matter in the end game.
Dude, look at the viewership. It's great.
It is great.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, that's sick.
People
Which one
did
do you
ask
guys
for a
like?
long time for me to play Atraxa on channels, and then I played so well in that game, other than the whole not counting to 8 thing.
Bro, it's still
Is it
better than that
Atraxa
time.
7?
Yeah, I thought Atraxa was 7.
I think Austin counted to 6.
Maybe I counted it. Oh, nice.
Bro, Austin can't even play Atali. He can't count high enough.
Dude, it's true. It's true.
He'll never touch Godo.
I just remember in that game, I Praetor's Grasp Jordan for, I think, the 3rd time in a row on a on a channel game. And he's like, do you just want my breach again? And I was like, no, I'll take your decon this time.
Cool, dude.
Well, it's so nice to have teammates, you know.
Dude, I mulled the 3 on Friday in my game with Austin and literally did nothing the entire game and just sat there while Austin killed us. It was really sad.
I did.
On Saturday?
Friday,
yeah. I was like, hey, someone show me a piece of interaction. And Isaac looked like he had something, and I was like, I don't care. Let's just go.
Oh my god. Is it Focal Isaac?
No, it's HR department.
Yeah, HR, Isaac.
Yeah.
Dude, he's so funny. He got me the other day with the he's like, Eric, I think there's something on your shirt. That's the first time that happened to me in 15 years. Dude.
Gotta bring that back.
Dude, that's unsporting conduct.
That's so funny.
This
Got your
is
nose, unsporting.
diabolical, bro.
This was really cool. I just saw this. These altars are incredible.
They really are good.
They're so
And
cool.
Those are so sick.
Whether the deck is cope or not, I like that people are trying it and picking it up. It's just cool.
Mhm.
Evangelion's one of those shows that, if you don't watch a lot of anime, you're like, sick, robots. And then you get 7 episodes in, and you're like, what the fuck does life even mean?
Why am I crying?
What is...
Movies
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool to see. We do want to talk quickly about events we're going to. So I am officially going to Breach today. I think it makes a little bit more sense for me. It's cheaper and closer, and I don't have to take as much time off for work and stuff. Plus, I also just want to go meet Doot in person because he's awesome. But this event's shaping up to be pretty good. It's the same weekend as Royal Rumble, but they're luckily on totally opposite coasts of the country. I would highly recommend that you go to one of these events if you're not going to one already.
Yeah.
I think they
pick one
both
of the
just
two.
hit platinum too.
I think Breach is like
wow.
a few people away from platinum.
Yeah,
it's
it's just
really close.
It will get there.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
And then Rumble is at like 160, I think now.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I need to get
There's a picture somewhere. We'll try to post it in our Discord. But the pricing for this event, if you are looking for cards that are absolutely hot,
It's bonkers.
this is the one to go
Yeah,
to.
it's
Yeah,
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can choose a Japanese Cradle, Japanese Mox Diamond, Japanese LED if you get first through fourth. And it's all guaranteed pricing.
Mhm.
Like, you can win a dual land for getting up to 16th place.
Bro, Masterpiece Soul Ring is pricing is crazy.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Right,
And
like, I
this
knew the pricing
this
was
event
back
is like
forever.
it is only currently like it's at 100 people, so like making top 16 is like very doable.
The
Highest-
superlatives are really cool too.
I'd win. Highest placing player at the end of Swiss, you get a Japanese foil Altered Breach by
Kai.
Sabotarix.
Dude, that's dope.
I
Dude,
mean,
I
I
love
love
it.
it.
Place.
I love a good
First to drop from the event is hilarious.
Power card.
$20 power card.
And yeah, there's a redemption event as well. So that's going to be on Sunday at Merlion Games. So looking forward
Oh
to the event.
yeah, they are doing that, right?
And like
Are
the
they
redemption
doing-
events at tournaments of this size are traditionally larger than most other tournaments that you travel to.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, everyone's there to play. I want to keep playing.
Yep.
All right, side quests for tournaments though. I want to see more of that, dude. Like the whoever wins the most and whoever drops first. I think that's awesome.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
We
I
have a
love it.
little bit of that in the league this month. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then, Austin, you want to talk about Rumble?
Yeah. So Royal Rumble's out in Providence, Rhode Island, next week. If you're watching this video when it comes out, it is cash prizing up to top 40, and yeah, I mean it's in a casino, so it should be a blast. I think there's like access to food at the venue. There's 160 something people signed up, and I think almost everyone else from the Critical Crew is going, including half of the entirety of Colorado. We all sold out a single flight somehow.
Jimmy ruined the flight.
But yeah, it's gonna be a blast. I can't wait to go and come say hi if you're there. So
Looking forward to Lobbygom and jamming games with a bunch of y'all.
yeah, come play against Helga. Let's go.
Come on, what can one chakra retriever do to you? Come on.
The answer is a lot.
I'm not even on
What
every
decks
word
are you
with the
guys
law.
all bringing to your events?
What's up?
Farm.
What do we all play?
Yeah, I'm playing farm.
I am playing Sisse.
I think I'm 50-50 between farm and wrong side right now. I'm gonna keep testing both. And who knows, I might change like 5 minutes before the event. I tend to do that a little bit too
Yeah.
often.
Same.
Eric, if you
I
were
can't wait to
going, what
tutor
would
out
you
a
play?
Planeswalker.
I'd probably be taking Rock Thrass. It's felt good. I think that I picked up the deck to help me. I feel like I'm a very bad like Storm player. Like once there's more than 2 things on the stack, I have a really hard time keeping up. And so I think it's just been a lot of fun lately. I've been really enjoying it. Been borrowing some deck building tips from Jordan and Jason too, because they both have really solid lists together. It's been a lot of fun.
Dude, you've been cooking on that list too.
Yeah.
On Rock Dress. You've been doing really well.
Oh, thank you.
You had like the best turn 2 of any game I've seen in like a while.
How many permanents in play?
Let's see. My opening turn was just gonna be like a land Candelabra, but then I drew Relic of Legends for turn, and I also had a Mana Vault that I could play, which then responded to Tyam tutoring for a Collector Oof. Into my draw for turn 2 was a Talon Gates. Suffice to
it
say,
was
I'm
wild.
on cooldown for buying lottery tickets for like roughly 3 or 4 years. But
And Jordan, you're playing farm?
Yeah. I'm like, I wish I was more excited about it than I am. But I am playing farm.
We should definitely like do some like last minute team coaching or something before the
I agree.
events.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And maybe do some like I don't know, just like good for confidence boosts for everyone, I think.
Mm.
but I'm not sure what I'm gonna play. The problem that I have.
Shorkai, baby.
He's playing Shorkai.
That's what we hear.
No. I don't think I am, because I know that Tim is bringing Shorkai, and I don't want to get mogged by Tim on the same deck. So, not really interested in that. I might play Kinnan or something, but it's also like Breach the Bay, so I kind of feel like I need to play Breach in my deck.
Pro Breach is so good.
That makes sense.
True.
And I'll talk about it a little later, but I'm thinking about Krark Ishai.
Oh,
Yes.
So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Brother, ew.
I don't hate that.
Did
I don't know,
Krark
I like the deck.
Boys?
Bro, I was looking at Shaka's Krark. Is it Krark Tev? His Rakdos Krark list?
Oh, Krark Francisco, I think.
Yeah, it is Krark Francisco. That
That
is
doesn't
a
have
deck of
Walking
all
Ballista.
time. Yeah, it is a deck of all time for sure.
Someone flip me that list. I haven't seen.
I'll see. It's in our Discord somewhere. I'll see if I can find it.
Okay.
I was in a really sick league game with Corey Williams and Matt Hayes yesterday. And Matt's a phenomenal player, but he just absolutely dunked on us. And then he messaged me after and he's like, bro, Cope Farm, it's the way. Just come join us in this land. Play Trick Bind, play 7 copy effects, do all the things.
So just like hardcore control for him?
It's not even control farm. It's not like Sky and Maddie's.
He just values Ristic Study over all else.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
to the point where he's like, I am not playing Necro because it forces you into being okay with Necro hands.
Damn,
And
it
you're like-
forces you into winning? That's
Yeah, it
crazy.
forces you into winning. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, like, doesn't Wrong Side just do that better because it pumps out the Ristic a turn earlier? Like,
You get Enlightened Tutor.
oh, okay. Fair.
That's not that good of a reason.
I mean,
like-
Tutor and Silences, I guess, is semi-valid.
Oh,
Yeah, and you don't have to, like,
You-
learn how
you
to-
don't get
to-
Enlightened Tutor. Here's my Mox Ruby. Here's all this other shit I get.
My Mox Ruby, true.
My 3 pieces of free interaction. Additional 3 pieces.
Well,
But yeah, I don't know.
actually
Like, I think he
think-
just like values that, and then he like doesn't really like want to learn how to look for a window and just casts his Grand Abolisher instead.
Valid.
I actually think that kind of bridges us into the next tab, which is people are talking about like, hey, I'm going to the Royal Rumble, and like this person's saying I'm gonna have fun, but I kind of like want to do well. So the question is like pilot skill versus deck / card quality, and I think everyone's answer here is why not both?
That was
True.
But I mean, like, I don't know. If you play generically good cards, it's much easier to do well with that. And then you can focus more on, like, I don't know. You wouldn't have to angle your skill to play, like, how do I make these bad cards work?
Yeah,
It's
I think-
interesting. I think the top comment or one of the top comments is like, familiarity overall, right? And I
Agreed.
actually do think there's a lot of truth to like, don't pick up a deck you've never played before the week before a 20K. Like, pick something you're comfortable with and that you understand well. And it's not like, to their point of Thoracle Decon or Breach isn't necessarily the most complicated line in the world all the time. Like, the play patterns of the deck are going to be different.
Guys, how hard is farm really?
Well, I guess the one caveat I would put there to not just picking up a brand new deck before a tournament is don't pick up a brand new deck that's like in a completely different vein of something that you're
Sure,
great for.
yeah.
Really, if you've been playing Rog Sai for a bunch and you want to add a color and switch to farm, that I think that makes a little bit of sense. But if you've been playing Cradle Storm, I wouldn't switch to a Breach combo deck, right?
Yeah.
Right before a tournament kind of thing. But yeah, I think familiarity matters most, and then ideally both, right? But I think whatever you play well is probably the first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, you should just like, especially in these like large tournaments, you want to take a lot of mental like breaks, right? Like, or not necessarily mental breaks, like anything that's like going to strain your mental, which is playing something that's not familiar. Like, it is usually a bad idea, right? And so you want to play a deck that doesn't do that you're super comfortable with and understand like kind of the back of your hand.
And again, I think these bigger tournaments reward consistency, right? And so you want to minimize the amount of misplays or acts like if you don't know the deck well, you don't necessarily know how to mulligan well with it, kind of thing, right? Which is just like you want to minimize as many. Again, 1 to 2 percentage points is all you need to the difference between being not converting and converting to top 60 kind of thing.
I think to reiterate on Austin's point, just like the just being comfortable on a deck and knowing like the play patterns of your own deck is more important than trying to figure out like a meta deck like the week before an event, right? You don't want to like really be in the middle of like Swiss and you're like, what am I tutoring for with this demonic tutor, right? Like that does add up to the mental capacity that you have for the day. Like the tank you have
Mental
is
load.
not unlimited.
Yeah.
It makes me think of Min on Narset, because I think of like Jeskai as a shell kind of lacks some things that we sometimes consider as like traditionally part of like a tournament defining cEDH list, as well as Narset specifically has some issues of being like an incredibly like creature like commander focused deck in like a very spell slingy colors, but all of those faults are made up for with the sheer amount of like confidence and trust that like Min has in the deck.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's a good example of he has like put in the time, like he's done the testing. If you took like 5 of my CDH decks together and put them into like one big sandwich, it would equal like a third of the sideboard that he has. And I think it's very impressive to me the amount of work that he's put in to get competent on it. But something that I know is I've also, just as many times I played against him on Narset, I've played against him on Rogsai or Nagila or Itali, and I think that his ability to do really really well on kind of a fringe deck is based off the fact that he dedicates a lot of time to also having like really really solid fundamentals. And so I found as I've been trying to grow on my fundamentals, as I've been trying to work on the pilot skill side of things, a lot of times starting with like card quality and then having the experience where I know that like Necro is a really really powerful card, but I have a hard time converting off of it. And so my inability to fully draw out all the potential that a really powerful card has kind of helped me kind of like dial into those areas where I now need to improve as a pilot. And I think that like if you start with like more of a fringe deck, it could be harder to find those areas, or the avenues you have to grow that like pilot skill is going to be limited based off the capacity of the cards that you have, depending on what it is that you want to do to improve as a player.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was advice Logan gave me really early on. And it's advice I give to any of my friends who come into the format. It's like, play a deck that gives you room to grow into it. And like you're not held back by the card quality or like lack thereof in the list that you're playing. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. Like the decks with the highest ceilings, a lot of them have higher floors, but it takes a really long time to climb to that high ceiling as well.
Yeah, I think the alternative option is before a big tournament like this, if you're really not feeling the deck you've been playing for a while and you want to like brute force learn a deck for a tournament, it's definitely possible if you have enough experience in the format. I think Jax and I have done this multiple times where we will pick up a deck for the first time and like we'll just watch gameplay of it, talk about it with Jason or other people in our group. We will goldfish it relentlessly. We will like do the work to learn the deck. And when it comes to tournament time, it's like, okay, well, I can use all the things that I've learned so far with the deck and just like do the best I can and like back it up with my personal experience and like things like that. It's not for everyone. So don't do it. It's a lot of work, but like it is the alternative to just like bringing something you're familiar with to one of these big events.
Yeah, and one piece to add on there too, right, is when you're playing in a tournament, you don't want to be spending the time figuring out your deck or figuring out your play patterns, right? Like you want to be heads up and be attuned to what everyone else is doing in the game, and less worried on just like trying to figure out your play patterns. So if you are picking up a new deck, just like grinding and looking at goldfishing 100 hands kind of thing, right? And then understanding your win conditions and how do you play towards them. That way you're not spending the whole time like looking at your hand trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing, and you spend more time figuring out what the table's doing and catching small things that people bleed.
Also, if you are choosing to pick up a new deck, like straight up new deck in a week, come play in the league because you can just find games whenever and you'll get plenty of practice.
True.
And there will be plenty of people saying, hey, you shouldn't do that, or you could do this better, or why didn't you tutor for this? That's definitely a great point as well. But yeah, I think it's good to like keep these conversations in mind and realize that everyone has different experiences with cEDH, whether it's like you're like us where we go to tournaments all the time and like that's kind of what our channel is built on is attending tournaments and competing in them, or it's like, hey, I play cEDH with my friend group, but we haven't gone to a tournament in a year and there's a 20K in my city, like I want to go. That's like a totally different experience.
Yep.
Speaking of tournaments, we've got Just Jam D-Grid. This is the next Arizona event, like big Arizona event coming up.
Yeah, so we're also partnered with them in our league for this month and next month. So top point earner gets a free entry into the league here, or gets free entry into the Arizona tournament. And then this is hosted by the same people that did Cradle of the Guild last year. I know
That event was so fun. That event was
Logan
so
had a really
fun.
good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's like a West Coast types event, so I'm sure a lot of the West Coast guys are going to be driving or getting out there, and it's a 20K, and apparently the space is super fun, and they serve food and drinks, and I'm pretty stoked on it.
Incredible bathrooms. Incredible bathrooms. Let me tell you. Okay, so they have a door that says bathrooms, all right? You walk through the door and you're like, okay, it's a bathroom. But it's a shared space that's the bathroom for all genders, okay? But the difference is, like, you used to walk in, there's sinks, there's paper towels, whatever. That part's normal. But there's just a long row of floor-to-ceiling stalls, and they're real doors that lock.
That's jazz.
It's so cool. I'm like, oh, you can just, do your business in peace. And then
It's the Bucky's bathroom.
it's Bussy's bathroom, dude. At a Magic event, which is like the coolest thing ever. At a game store.
Really nice.
I've never been to Bucky's.
Buc-ee's
I
is
haven't
awesome.
been to the bathroom, so
Yeah, dude.
You walk into a Bucky's bathroom and you're like, God damn, how many people can this thing hold? It's like, it's probably like 90 people, like not even kidding.
wow.
And the
Tournament.
toilet
That's great.
seats
Okay,
also
so
giant.
we're hosting the next combat in a Bucky's.
In Bucky's.
That's actually gas.
If there's a
dude.
venue near Bucky's, that'd be really cool.
There
That
might be at the one that's
yeah.
like north of here.
Yeah, that Embassy Suites up there is like ginormous, and it's close to the Bucky's. But
Every
Yeah,
time we
the
talk about
best.
this tournament, I'm also reminded that I have a pretty large chunk of store credit at Gamers Guild AZ that I've not cashed out yet. Their store is so awesome. This is a place with the bathrooms. Like it's a whole game store, and then there's like a Warhammer section with like high tabletops for wargaming, and then there's like a section for Magic, and you can have like food and drink at your table. There's these like high tops between every 4-pod where you can set drinks and stuff, and you like can't
Wow.
knock them over because if you move your arm to the side, it's below where the drinks are.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
gas. I mean, it
It's
sounds
so
awesome.
good.
Crazy. Okay.
And you get table service, so you just like you can order food on your phone, and like during the middle of the game, we're like, okay, hold on, I'm dying, I need drinks, and then you just order a
Hold
drink,
up,
and then like it
hold
comes up.
Judge, can we
Dude,
get 5
Jax is
minutes
for
to
sure
order
going to
stuff?
this event.
It's so fun. It's so fun. I can't I hope we get to go to this. I think
Yeah.
we'll try to make it work, but looking forward to their next event for sure.
Calling a judge so they can hold your beer while you storm off.
Judge, hold my beer.
No. It's got to be like someone put a win attempt on the stack, and they were like, "Judge, hold my beer. Here's a Born," and they're just like, "No, your win attempt was good. Here's mine."
We did want to briefly mention the January League. This is just in full swing again, and you can check out our partners. We mentioned Far North and Just Jam D-Grid, but also Erie's Altars and Doot Loot, of course. We love working with everyone on the league, and especially just getting to host as many players in one spot is very, very cool. And we like bringing people together a ton. We didn't show this last week, but we do have a good shot of the prizing, the altars, and these are so
they're
cool.
so good,
Yeah.
dude.
They're so
Tournament
gas.
one I think is
I
my
want
favorite.
this Oracle
So
so
sick.
bad.
The Thoracle is so sick, dude.
I want it.
They're
dude.
all great.
Wow.
It's been sitting on my desk, and I'm like, dude, I should just slot it in my deck until.
Wait, you have them?
Yeah, actually, no, that's not true. They're in the mail. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I have someone else's altars that are on my desk that I also want to
We
steal.
have, yeah. So this month we're adding, very much like the other event we talked about, in points totals. If you're first in points at the end of the league, you get an additional $100. If you're second to fourth, you get an additional $50. That's on top of whatever earnings you might get afterwards. If you get top 16, you get your money back plus a little extra, and you get free entry to next month's league.
I love a good side quest.
This is the first league I've played in months, and I'm like, I've been ripping the Vile Thras in the league, and that That's been fun. To
Oh,
What's
play.
your
God.
what's your standings?
I don't
I haven't
remember
played
my
a game yet.
standing.
I
Are you on
think
the
for the
front
first time,
page?
I'm
No.
above Jason right now.
Oh my God, Austin's above you.
Let's
Bro,
go.
I'm bad. Where am I though?
Get bent.
32.
Yeah, we don't need to look at where
Oh.
I'm at.
Oh my god. Wait, where's Jordan?
Oh.
Nah, I'm kidding.
Bro, it's so bad. I've
Nowhere to
done.
go, or what are you playing?
It's
I've been
correlated
playing-
to playing Rogdrass.
I've been playing mostly Rogdrass, but I have drawn 9 games, I think, 10 games, something like that. It's like
Yikes.
actually disgusting.
Jordan, you got to start tapping the tiger for 2.
Yeah,
I
dude,
know,
that's the
bro.
secret.
Bro.
You gotta find mana, bro.
Yeah, with Badger Mole, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. All I'm gonna say is Jordan was really tired when he got those draws. He
No, it's been, yeah, it's been a bad month.
Hey, look, there's nowhere to go but up. So, you'll be all right. I wanted to show this off. I like Tim's just continuing to draw stuff. I thought this Arkham was really cool. And then also, like, he's got the Mycosynth lattice in the back. That's just, like, really
That's
cool. And then,
That's cool.
Yeah.
and
Or
now,
is that encroaching Mycosynth?
I don't know. One of the Mycosynths. It's the same shit, right? Like, it's just mono blue artifact slop either way.
Mono blue artifact.
Mono blue
swap.
artifact slot, bro.
I'm just saying that to make Notorious, Tyler, and Dude mad.
Oh, shout out to Tyler for making top 4 at the Decatur event.
Oh, yeah.
this last
Yeah,
weekend.
he was cooking this weekend. Apparently, he could have won the game in top 4 too, and misplayed, which feels really bad. But also, Notorious won a Cradle this weekend on Arkham as well.
Yep, and then Dude's playing Arkham now, too.
Oh no!
Guys-
It's not good.
Guys,
It's-
Arkham is secretly the best deck in the format.
I like the
No,
deck.
no,
I think
no,
it's
no.
cool.
I mean, if you
That's
don't
Magda.
remove Arkham and you give him activations, for sure.
Arkham hates to see a Denver player coming.
Yeah, it's kind of true. It's so true.
But
The same
yeah,
people
he's
were
also
just
posting
like that.
these like time lapses of the drawings, and like I just think
Yeah, the
that's
top
so
one was really cool.
I
I
wish you could like put that like somewhere, like how to like get that like on a holographic like
NFT
sheet of my
playmat.
binder.
That's what I'm saying. Do
that'd
an
be cool.
NFC tag on the mats, and you can tap it and see the art, the time lapse in the art happened. It'd be so sick,
Ooh.
right? Like,
that'd
would be sick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
I,
how do
I
I
will
look like
say
the,
I do like what Tim's doing with his like new mats that are like a little bit more slim. You know, like there's not
Yeah.
as much like clutter
Like
on
character
the mats.
profile type things.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
character
like
the
the
Dargo
Dargo
mat's one of my
stuff
favorite
looks
mats
so
I have.
sick.
Yeah, it's so nice.
They're
I
just
love
a
the
little bit more
Dargo.
minimalistic, and I think that like they look really clean.
All right, fuck a playmat. How do I get myself one of these?
Yeah, yeah. This thing's
There's some
nuts.
the mana vault too, where you can see the mana at the bottom of the.
Oh, hummingbirds. Yeah, that thing's
Hummingbird's
crazy.
mana vault is
So
also
sick.
insane.
So if anyone knows this artist, try to get them in our Discord. I know that they're probably Japanese, but it doesn't matter. Like we need to we need to talk.
It's so sick.
This is really cool. I just wanted to show it off. I thought it was
Yeah,
neat.
it's gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's
I think it's my
crisp.
Do you think it's because it's
Grace.
uploading it?
No.
Oh, okay.
This was really fun to film. So I recorded a POV tournament game with Jackson, Jason. This is in round 3 of 3, and I think it's like the first of its kind. And I was like scouring the internet
I
trying
think
to see
it's
if
cool, yeah.
anyone else has done it before. But it was a lot of work to put together. But I think it came out pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a good watch. I got to relive the moment of Jason screaming, "Jax is literally throwing right now."
He's like, no, the only spell you're supposed to counter is one ring. Meanwhile, I'm like, tap, tap, tap.
I'm pretty sure Jax wins that game if he just counters the One Ring.
I definitely could have. Yeah.
Or I bounced the fish like way earlier.
Yeah.
I could have done something a little bit more probably, but if this at all interests you, like let us know, because we have the tools to make this, and it doesn't have to be from my POV. It could be Jason's, it could be Jordan's or
Bro,
Eric's or
we've
like
got the
anyone's. Right?
signature Jason handshake. on
Do you
it.
not realize that?
Good.
Yeah, it's me getting wasted by 3 people agreeing to draw the game.
Dude, if we put it on Jason, we'll just see how lucky he gets on every single top deck.
It'll just be like, oh my god, this is
exactly
good.
what you need every time.
Oh,
Yeah,
I drew
yeah.
Dark Rit for the Necro. It was actually just turn 2 study with Right of Flame, but GG guys.
But I
You
think the
should see the
video did an
comments
awesome
on
job
this
of
too. I
catching
think it's
the
funny.
LGS environment and the
Yeah.
feelings of everyone playing together, which I thought was really fun.
There's good comments on this,
No, on the Twitter post.
which I just like.
Yeah, when you drew the Rift, that was crazy, actually. Spoiler alert, but
Yeah, let's see the overloaded Psych Rift. I had literally one ring in hand and that was it. The next card I drew for turn was Psych Rift, and I was trying to not like bust out laughing. I was just like, oh my god. And yeah, he had one other prediction that was like really on point too. I don't remember what it was. Isaac made another prediction. Like he wasn't in the game, right?
He said, Jason's gonna win next turn.
Yeah. But yeah, that was really fun. And then we also did a video, or at least I did, with Hire, and we're trying to continue the cEDH fundamentals, where we can just like start breaking down some aspects of cEDH, whether it's, in this case, it was blue counter magic and kind of the counter magic suite of cards that you might see in your games, because I think a lot of players are like, wow, we get to run so many cool different counter spells and stuff, but I think that there's upsides and downsides to each one, and like the right times to use them and wrong times to use them and things like that. So we
counter Ristic Steady, right?
Jeez.
No, always counter Jax's Ristic Steady.
Oh, that's right. I can't have a Ristic Steady.
Behind every Ristic Steady, there's like two more.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
My favorite, when someone counters a Ristic Steady and then the next two players both play a Steady.
Yep.
And you're like,
dude, I've
cool.
like thought about this of being like, oh, like why don't we like offer to be like, all right, I'm gonna counter the Ristic Study, but if I see another one come down and like turn like in 2 turns and I'm not doing it, like stuff like that, just be like, no, okay, fine, like.
Yeah, but does anyone take that deal, right? Like I think.
I mean, the answer is no, but then you just keep your counter spell, right?
Yeah, sure.
If you counter this Ristic Study, I'm going to do the longest yeah boy I can, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
I've like thought about like games where you can like force low resources, and like, if that's like a viable strategy. But I don't know. It's a hard concept to come by, especially in Denver when like everyone just prioritizes value engines.
Right, because like I would say like that almost works if everyone mulls low, but then like everyone's mulling low for a draw engine most of the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you just put a win on the stack instead. Why are we interacting with the value engine? They're just gonna draw like 3 cards, and you're just gonna be like, that's his decon. Any response? GG.
It's true.
We have some leftover cards to talk about. They didn't make the cut last week. I don't know how to say this. Kinsayer Sentry?
Kinskyer Sentry? Creature Kithkin Soldier, first strike lifelink. Whenever this creature attacks, you may put a creature card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking, where X is the number of attacking creatures you control.
I know a lot of people in the Tim Nadargo Discord are running this card, just because it's like you can cheat Voice, Abolisher, even like the Techno into play. Like people who are higher on Timna plans, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like, it definitely reads like a strong card. I just don't know if we're going to see a ton of it played.
Dude,
I think it's some, like, very...
haste. I wish it had haste.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The biggest downside is it's just a creature that requires you to wait a whole turn cycle, and then for it to actually be, like, useful, you need to attack with, like, 2 things, right? Yeah. If you're looking at specifically Abolisher.
And then the game might be over by that point.
Yeah.
And like, what 1-drops are we gonna put into play? Like Ragavan? Okay, like maybe that's good in this case.
Sentinel, bro. Esper Sentinel.
And then Sentinel dies to some random block.
No,
like
Mockingbird, bro. Mockingbird. Put it in. Copy Rograk.
You can't because
copy
it's not being
Rograk.
cast.
Copy Rograk.
Oh yeah.
So
copy Rograk.
I do think like one of the benefits of this card though is that like you're not having to cast a Grand Abolisher and use mana for it. So it does make your lines a little bit easier if you're like cast this and then like go for a whole nother turn. And I also think like this card is like a lot less clonable, right? Like it's not like you can like cast this card and pass, and people aren't gonna like clone it and then win.
Is this a tie-in card?
No.
Are you sure?
It doesn't make counters
doesn't
or
really
mana.
attack.
Yeah.
But like it could.
And also, Time doesn't have cards in hand usually.
Yeah, like Time wants to be hellbent and just cranking it at Time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cranking
maybe
the Time.
they're all doing it wrong.
True. Yeah, I might try this in Drevi for a little bit. We'll see. I don't know, because like Drevi's problem isn't putting stuff into play; it's drawing cards usually, because it makes mana just fine. But at the same time, cheating some stuff into play, and I'm already trying to attack. Might not be bad, and I'm already on like the Delny plan and overlaps with Delny fine. I don't know.
Oh, this is cute with Delny for sure.
Yeah. Cute at best, right? I don't think it's be broken though.
Yeah,
I could see
I think
this
it's worth a
being, like,
test.
what's a what's a color pile that has like doesn't have issues drawing cards but has issues doing everything else?
Oh, I could see
Short
Yoshi
guy?
Thras. Yoshi Thras could play this card.
Yeah, I think Yoshi
Yeah.
Thras makes sense. I could see Yoshi Thras on that.
Actually, this might be okay in Shorkai. Like,
Shorkai?
Shorkai can draw cards, but it has issues doing anything else, and I can just swing
What
with
are
a
you
bunch of
gonna do?
pilots.
Put an S for Sentinel into play?
No, put a kitten into play.
Kitten.
Yeah.
You need 4 creatures.
Yeah,
to
need
pilots.
four pilots.
Pilots.
No.
Oh.
You're sitting there. That means that's like a turn 6 attack.
Sheesh.
I mean, the deck can make it to turn 6, like, no problem.
Sure.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't know. This is an interesting card. I don't know how much play it's going to see. At least it doesn't die to Bowmasters inherently.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. And also, First Strike makes it hard to block. It's kind of
Yeah,
neat.
Lifelink's like
Yeah.
pseudo relevant. It's not bad.
I wish instead of first strike or lifelink that I had haste. Either one of those you were to go.
I should
Oh,
just
yeah.
have like haste that touch, vigilance.
Yeah. And flying.
Give it the
Flying.
one sheet treatment,
attack.
dude. Yeah.
I could
Is it
see it having
Bushido
haste
5?
if it were like still 2 OCMC but like Boros.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you
If it was
first
Boros,
strike
like that
one-
would be so cool.
One
if it
in
was
hybrid Boros.
That would be sick.
Then it sacks to flare.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Thank God.
bro.
That's.
Bro,
I'm glad
come
it's not
on,
Boros.
come on.
Speaking of sacking to flare,
This, I think, Vibrance is awesome. So for the listeners out there, it's 3 colorless, hybrid Gruul, and then whenever this ETBs, if red was spent to cast it, it deals 3 damage to any target. Or if green was spent, you search your library for a land card and reveal it, then you gain 2, and you can evoke it for hybrid Gruul. So I think the first deck that comes to mind is definitely Rograk and Thrasius, because you can just go find your Cradle. And then it also kind of replaces Gutshot as your outlet too, since it's any target, so you can hit people's faces with it too.
but you have to make red, right?
Yeah, but once you have like infinite mana off of Boro, right, it's like trivial.
Yeah, because like you'll end up putting your command towers into play and stuff like that. So
You can also do like some really cute stuff with it where like the evoke sacrifice triggers on the stack, you return it to hand and then go get Talon Gates with it after you get Cradle. Like if you have that assembled already, it's stupid, but it's a thing that you could do.
There's also, like, I think people forget with these evoke elementals, you can, if you full cast it, you can get both effects.
Yep.
Oh,
Mhm.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's like not unheard of in Rogprass to have
Exactly.
a million mana laying around.
yeah.
I think this is probably one of the best, if not the best, of the evoke elementals from the set.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that there's a few of them that are like can see a look in certain decks, but I do think Vibrance will see a lot of play.
Sacks to flare, bro. Sacks to flare.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm so into this design space though, with you using the hybrid mana, different effects.
Yeah.
Like this is really cool.
It's
Yeah.
also, we don't have a green to battlefield tutor. Oh, I guess that doesn't work because green wasn't spent to cast it. I was going to say we don't have a green creature tutor that just lets you get this.
and it doesn't work with Maelstrom Wanderer either.
True.
Which is
Okay.
really annoying.
Okay, Logan.
Does Rogthrust want, between this and Formidable Speaker, does it want Summoner's Pact now?
So people are testing Summoner's Pact for it, but I think it'll see a drop off in like a month or so. But they'll
Sure.
play like both of them is fine.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I think the slots are really tight that Summoner's Pact can't really be seen. But I don't know. I think it's worth testing for sure.
Summoner's Pack only gets green creatures, or is it any creature?
Yeah, but
Only
you have
green.
a line with like to turn your green tutor into a blue tutor with Formidable Speaker now, which isn't a thing that you used to be able to do.
Interesting. But like,
Because-
doesn't
But
you
you're
have
like,
to wait a turn though?
but like you're adding
No.
a restricted tutor to your deck on purpose and trying to do that. Because you already play like Green Sun, right? And Green Sun is fine. I don't think you want another restricted tutor, right?
Are most lists on Worldly Tutor? Or are they not on Worldly Tutor anymore?
I don't think most are anymore.
No.
So you probably don't run it then, if right?
Yeah.
Because drawing
I mean,
a card is easier than the color restriction most of the time.
Yeah, for Logan's question, you don't. So Formidable Speaker is only you have to wait a turn for the tap ability. The tutor is when it enters.
Yeah.
You can discard a card.
So it's green
okay.
tutor for formidable speaker. Find something else. Like
Find
a
breeze
different
color.
creature.
Yeah, because normally you
Find
don't have a
breeze
way to
color.
get green tutor into a blue creature, so you can get Cloud of Fairies or breeze color off of speaker,
Interesting.
which is like I think really strong, just because your density of green tutors is high, and then it's also not a human, so it can be found off of all of your green tutors.
But it's like the only restriction is Green Sun, right? Every other tutor can go and grab like blue creatures.
Yeah.
Well, or Summoner's Pact.
Dude, my hot take, I think this formidable speaker
If
card's
you
not going to
want
see
to
that much
run it.
play eventually.
I honestly don't think so either. I think it's medium.
Yeah,
It's
I think it's
fine.
too expensive.
Yeah, I could see it Drog Thras, but I don't see it. Like I would tried it a little bit in Drevi, and I know I'm not a fan.
Isn't
I
there a
think it was
2-mana
better in
demonic
Rock
tutor
Thras
for
because it got
creatures?
spoiled and then Cabbage Merchant got spoiled, right? That was the order, I think.
Yeah,
Like this card looked really, really good, and then now I feel like that green 3 CMC slot. Not that like we can always evaluate cards from like, okay, I have to like rank this against every other spell that only has the same CMC, but they do, I think, kind of like eat each other's lunch. And I think that if you're like a big mana deck, like Cabbage Man lets you like pass the turn and it like does a lot, or you can play it and then start storing off, so as people are interacting with you, you're getting Thras spins, as opposed to Formidable Speaker. I think what does really enable a lot of tutor chains, it seems like that's something that the deck can already do really, really well.
Yep.
Like I don't think it's better than Spellseeker, right? Like I don't think it replaces Spellseeker. But
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, because you can't like there's no 2 CMC like Neoform. I guess you could do like it's gonna get you like Cloud of Fairies, but I don't know. I feel like some of the strengths of like creature tutors, like Jason was talking about, are the fact that they're oftentimes to the battlefield.
Is there
and
any
so-
strength with this? With like, what's the landfall ETB make a clone?
Oh,
Springheart
Springheart?
and Tuco.
Yeah.
I could
kind of
see
interesting.
that since it's an ETB, but then you need cards in hand, and it's like kind of sus at some points with
It's
Rock
like a-
Grass.
It's a
like
super interesting way to fuel for your breach.
Yeah.
But you could like deterministically get Springheart from this card.
sure.
So I think that there might be some lines of play
Oh.
with that
Sure.
specifically. Like if you just have like an abundance of green mana, and also this is like maybe something Lumra wants in that case, but
oh,
Interesting. I didn't think about the Springheart.
I do think it could see testing in Lumra. I mean, we have a professional Lumra
Eric's
pilot
like,
here.
you know.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think Lumra definitely want this. Lumra is probably like the only deck in the world that would want Formidable Speaker 10 times more than Cabbage Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that like exactly like Logan was talking about, I think the Springheart and Tuco lines are what's most interesting to me, because that's functionally, that and Endurance are traditionally the only creatures you want in hand more than on the battlefield, aside from maybe like, you know, Colossal Sky Turtle. But I think that of those 3 cards, most Raw Trust lists are only playing 1.
I will make another prediction that this plus ignore that. This plus Hazel's Brewmaster breaks Cradle. So if you are able to entomb this and then exile with Brewmaster all your food, say untap another target permanent, and that
Oh.
seems pretty fucking broken.
That's cute.
Yeah, sure.
But you can also get Brewmaster from this card.
Yeah.
But you have to have a way to put this in yours.
So maybe in like
Tethras.
Strategy?
Yeah. TNT.
no, in
Cradle.
No,
in
no,
Tevish
here's the line, here's the line.
Thrasios.
You Formidable Speaker, let's say you're in Tethras. Formidable Speaker, you go get Spellseeker, play Spellseeker, it gets you Neoform. You Neoform the Formidable Speaker into the Hazels.
But that's kind of gas, actually.
Wait, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
That's
That's
and especially
cool.
you're probably already running Cabbage Man anyways. Like,
wait, is this a TNT card
Well,
with that line?
Maybe. I mean,
They're, like-
they are
like
thinking about
Raoul's
playing
list is already
survival,
on-
so like
Brewmaster, right?
think so.
I could see it in Tev Thras over TNT.
Yeah, I'm like pretty optimistic about this card personally. I think I have a higher view of it.
I'm
than...
not optimistic about TNT.
Maybe that. Okay, yeah, sure. But I mean, like those are the angles I'm thinking about with this card that I think are more realistic than
Yeah.
playing it in like Rog Thras. Like
Yeah.
the combo lines where like it's able to actually like more deterministically do something than just be like, oh, it's like, I don't know, it's a tutor, I guess. Like
Yeah.
I think that's bad.
this kind of does make me want to re-sleeve up Tevish Thras. That kind of seems like a fun deck to play with getting like a lot of new tools. It looks like.
Yeah, I think
just possible.
uh,
And
Spooky
dude, merchant
tweeted.
with Brewmaster, and then this.
Yeah.
And then like merchant.
Or
or,
just merchant,
like,
merchant
Cabbage
brewmaster in
Cabbage
general
merchant, yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah. And then like already being in culling ritual colors too. Like yeah.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, and you get like all of the black tutors, so you actually have like real tutors instead of
Yeah.
shit tutors.
Whoa, crazy.
Yeah, this
It's
card is
interesting.
interesting for sure. We didn't talk about this one in the last episode,
Mm.
but
No.
yeah, the card is cool, but we'll see how it shakes out.
As far as like the
Speaking-
world
go ahead.
champion cards, it's not as impactful as Fairy. It's like for that same design space.
Wait, what are you talking about?
What?
It's
So,
it's
yeah.
a standard world champion card.
No way!
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
It's-
that?
I had no idea.
So the
Oh yeah, it says right at the bottom.
Yeah. Same with Fairy
That's weird.
Masterminds.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It says it on the card.
yeah,
Reading
it is the
card
same
explains
with
the
Mastermind.
card.
That's why it says that. Wow, I really do only play one format, huh?
Yeah, I only
Yeah.
play one. What does that mean?
Jordan's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
so
we
world
move on
champion
to-
cards go.
Yeah.
I think it's
Wait,
so
wait,
cool that
what are
Wizards
world
does that.
champion?
By the way,
Yeah, same.
Is there
I
a
don't-
tag for this? Players
I
don't
don't
play art.
Actions on world
does
champion.
it
Oh,
actually
yeah.
look like the guy?
Oh, it looks like.
I think that's why Fairy Mastermind is glasses, like with glasses.
I do
Oh,
know
yeah.
that Fairy
I know
Mastermind
that.
does look like Yuda.
Yeah.
I knew that about Fairy Mastermind, but I didn't realize
Yeah.
that this was like a whole
Oh.
thing.
Yeah, it's like a whole design space.
Yeah, one of them's LSV, right? Too. Is it dual? No,
I don't know.
no. There's another one. I think it's a black card.
They haven't been doing it for very long.
Yeah.
But surprise, they're all like interaction spells.
No,
I like
not this
Forbidden
No,
one.
Champion.
not
That
this
takes
one.
me back, dude.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
today I
kinda
learned.
cool.
Yeah, the more you know.
We've got Marlin, Fey Ascendant.
Okay, if we get JLo back, it's kind of cool.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Scheming symmetry. Targeting me, targeting you. Cast Marilyn.
I don't hate
Whoa.
that. So, from what I understand, people are excited about this card because it is a Sultai food chain commander that has some sort of card advantage stapled onto it. I don't think people are going to be leaning too much into the elves and fairies thing, but it makes like a later, Elves of Deep Shadow or something along those lines worth it to be cast. But I don't know. I definitely could see it being played. I do understand that you don't have to actually pass the turn as a food chain commander with this as well. Because I know with Mothman and with Master Transcendent you do. But I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I do think that, yeah, with JLo, if it comes back, then maybe it's worth looking at. I think it's like kind of a cool control commander. But if you're looking to play Sultai control, I think Glarb is right there.
I don't know. I'll try anything once. I'll try
Yeah.
this.
I do like
Um,
that it's an enter as well, not when you cast an elf.
Yep.
Which is something that oftentimes you'll see on like blue coded effects. But I think the fact that it enters, I think also means not that I think it's like easily breakable enough in a way that if I was going to the Rumble was just in my town, and so I was trying to move off of Sylvala Storm, so I wanted to start maining a deck so I could top. I don't think I would play like Marilyn. Could be anyone, but I do think that like if you're just looking to like put like a big beefy like Sultai list and you just want to like kind of like learn the wedge, it seems like this commander has the potential to do a lot of very like Sultai-y things.
Yeah.
All right, hear me
Even-
out.
I think
Here-
also Kitten.
I keep stepping on Jordan. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're
Here-
good, dude.
Hear me out. Glarb wants to play these big game enders like Hullbreaker Horror, and it can't because Hullbreaker does jack all on that deck. The Hullbreaker can actually win in this deck. Like this deck,
Yeah.
because it's an enters ability, like Eric said, it is technically a food chain outlet, but as we know, that card is bad. And like it's just not good, right? So if you can do better stuff like play control and you have like a game finisher with Hullbreaker Horror, you just go crazy style with like rocks and like then just bounce your commander infinitely. Yeah, like that's pretty good.
What
You
is
can
this,
also Eldritch or Neoform her into Hullbreaker, generate infinite mana, recast her, and she's the outlet to win with Hullbreaker.
Are we
there.
just forgetting that you can neoform her into the Denver secret tech guys?
Sneaky.
Ooh.
Denver
Crazy.
secret tech.
That was pretty.
It,
And then
it's also like like Bitter Blossom even, like shit card, but it's an elf every turn or a fairy every turn, right? Like, and then that gives you 2
Sure.
cards.
I don't
Something like
necessarily
Fairy
think that's what I would
Mastermind
do with
too,
it.
right? Like you're
Yeah.
running Fairy Mastermind in the deck, and like you would just yoink someone's top deck tutor.
But you also
Yep.
got elves.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
dorks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I think that you don't necessarily want to lean into that so much, but like all the value cards that are already in that just like are like force multiplied, right? So like Elves of Deep Shadow, maybe Lana War Elves you want to like think about playing, and like Fairy Mastermind. I do think that like there's a non-zero chance that someone plays a spell starter sprite, which is kind of interesting to me because it's like a 2-mana hard counter spell, and if your commander's out, then you also get to exile 2 cards. Like that's fine.
Glenn
Mark.
Elentra's an elf too, right? Fairy.
Glenn Elentra Archmage is an elf, or is a fairy. Yeah.
Right? She dies, the
Fairy
counter
Artisans
spell
is
comes back.
interesting.
Like, that's 4 cards. Just
Damn,
off
this
Glenn
thing doesn't
Elentra.
make
Yeah.
fairies.
Dude,
that
man,
was so close.
man,
It's
we
so
just gotta play
close.
cEDH staple Maskwood Nexus in this deck then.
Yeah.
No, there's the ley line, right? You can call it. You can play the ley
Oh,
line.
Leyline of Transformation.
Oh, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
actually play that in that deck.
That's
There's
It's
also
actually probably not bad.
this card does just go crazy with Displacer Kitten.
Yeah.
It
Oh, yeah.
kind of
Like-
does, right?
Like if you're
doing the
playing
Hullbreaker
hard
thing,
control, like this card is nuts with Displacer
Yeah, but
Kitten.
you have 2 fairies and her out and Displacer Kitten, right? You're probably gonna hit something that's castable.
Yeah.
she
Right, like-
accounts, she
Didn't
accounts
they
for
just-
2 mana because she is an elf and a fairy.
Oh.
And it's or, right? It's not and or.
Yes.
Oh, so her
Elves
and
and
1 elf you can
fairies.
cast 3
What?
drops then?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's hidden way better than I thought. Like first read, I was like, "Meh, what are we talking about?" The more I'm looking into it, the more this might have some legs.
And
Yeah,
you're right,
I think
Austin.
it's-
Like,
I think it's
Uh,
definitely playable.
yeah, Austin, you're exactly right. Like, Displacer Kitten's great. That means that Hullbreaker Horror is good because this is a bounce thing. Like, and that's one of the weaknesses with Glarb is like, yeah, you can run Displacer Kitten or Hullbreaker Horror in the deck, but if you do anything with Glarb, like, okay, he enters. He doesn't have an enter ability. And then, like, he doesn't have haste, so you can't tap him. So, like, there's no point in doing that. And so you're just, like, running this, like, slow control deck where, yeah, you're, like, every turn you're looking at your, the top of your deck and, like, doing card selection. But this is letting you cast stuff for free. And the 2 generic in these colors is really not significantly different than just the same casting cost without 2 generic. It's cool.
It's
Yeah.
really interesting. Yeah,
I
it's a cool
also-
card.
I would just like warn caution about playing like Essence Flux in this deck. Like, just don't do it. Just
Don't do the Kafka thing. Don't
Yeah.
do the yeah.
like
what are we
just
talking
play
about? Don't
good
do the
cards.
Kefka thing, bro. Kefka's a great deck.
I think it's a fine Grixis shell, but don't do the like I'm gonna blink him into oblivion and then die.
Guys,
Yeah.
I'm going to strip your hands.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah,
watch
I mean,
out.
also like this deck could run some like decent clones if you're like
Yeah.
already looking to do that.
Yeah.
And
Even
like,
the changeling clone that we're getting, right, is like fine because it's an elf and a fairy.
Oh,
Yeah,
did you pull that up?
With the changeling.
Yeah,
clone.
we did last
okay.
week.
the Omni Changeling.
You
yeah.
don't watch our episodes, Jason?
Nope. Exposed. Got me. Oh,
But
So one thing I do want to bring up that Austin often talks about with dorks is that they don't do shit in the later parts of the game. This deck, they have the potential to do something in the later part of the game,
Mhm.
which is very, very cool. Because if you cast an elf on turn 3 after your commander's out, yes, it doesn't tap for mana, but it is affording you extra cards for like 1 mana.
And it's once each turn, so you can cast stuff on people's turns too.
Yep.
So if you hit like counter spells and stuff, I guess you get to be a counter spell bot.
Yeah.
Court of Calling for 1 in
So-
response to someone.
wait. So the way that this
stealing
works
you
is
get your-
it this turn.
Yeah. So you can cast
Once each turn this turn.
yeah. So if you like had a fairy enter on an opponent's turn, you take their 2 cards, you could cast those 2 cards on that turn, but not the
Sure.
cards you got off of your turn.
Okay.
Also,
Well,
I
this
always
is-
forget how like named cards work. Like if you flicker Marilyn, can she see all the cards previously exiled by previous Marilyns?
No. It's like Jaleva.
What?
Well,
The
wait,
Grixis
hold on. So
commander.
if you flicker this, then it doesn't. You can't use the cards that you just snagged from someone.
Yes,
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Because I think it's like an Agatha Soul Cauldron thing, right?
Yeah,
Again, I'm
the
asking
new
because, like,
instance.
It,
Or the
it's
Brewmaster
like
thing.
it's just a new instance of her, so she won't have any recollection of previous.
'Cause
Yeah,
there's
but
no-
isn't
there's
this like
no,
a delayed thing, like once each turn? Like,
Oh.
this is what I'm saying is like,
Well,
is
Yeah,
it-
yeah,
you're
because
a
the
judge.
effect doesn't go away.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if the
Yeah.
effect goes away.
So you
No,
do get to hold on
well,
till it's the end of turn.
hold up, because it says cards exiled with Marlin, right? So like, if you just
Yeah.
flicker her, she's
They were
not-
exiled with her.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah, they
but
were
it's like-
exiled.
it's like she's not even. She's like new instance.
Let's
I don't
see.
know. If you're a judge, just like comment down below.
There's no rulings here on Scryfall yet. Yeah, that is really interesting. I think that this
Well, because
the particulars about how this card works are gonna make or break the commander. I think for our format.
Well, okay,
I
so the
think
reason
gut-
why
gut
I'm
reasoning,
thinking
I
it
think
does work.
Austin's right. I think you get to hold on to it till end of turn. So even if you flicker it, you don't have to cast it right then.
I think the reason why I'm like thinking it works is because that is how a food chain out would work, right? Is that you exile everyone's deck and then be able to put a win together through all of the cards from everyone's decks.
I think so too. I think you get it until end of turn. I think you exile it and then have access to cast that till end of turn, whether or not she dies or gets flickered.
Yeah.
You cannot cast the previously exiled cards, but you can cast the cards that exile on each iteration of her.
Is that
So
the
like
Scry
yeah.
or the? Okay.
I just consulted the Oracle.
Oh,
But
okay.
if you like
Okay.
hit somebody's instant,
How's
right?
she doing? She doing all right?
Actually,
Okay.
we just watched that
Interesting.
recently. It's so good.
yeah, the Matrix.
But yeah,
is
if you like
incredible.
hit an instant in the middle of your like blinking effect, right? You can cast that on that instance of Marilyn and then blink her
Okay.
again, get 2 more cards.
That's a good point. And not to be like the food chain defender, but it is a May, so you can generate infinite mana first, and then when you start doing it, then you can start playing stuff out. I guess the one difficulty there is going to be that like you can't hit your own library, as well as the fact that if it's a food chain line, you're only going to be able to hit other creatures. So even if you like hit everyone and then get
Guys, you just need to hit one fairy mastermind. Like,
Yeah.
literally, you just hit one fairy mastermind,
Yeah.
which she can do by herself, right? Then you just cast it. Then
Mhm.
you continue looping, exile everything, you activate mastermind, they're all dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
this
yeah,
is
there
where
go.
you have only creature mana floating, and you're like, I gotta pass the turn.
Then they all
Yeah,
die
but like
anyway.
every time that you flicker Marlin, like you're gonna steal a Mox Amber or something like that from
Yeah.
people.
You
Like you'll
can't
have the
not-
mana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Hopefully.
all right.
It's kind of cool.
Interest.
what are all decks that run like Walking Ballista? Like you're in seat 1, Francisco Malcolm, Serta, then like
Big flips cannon, bro.
So why are we talking about this card? This is Brigid, not Bergie.
Brigid
Birgit.
Clack Can's Heart. 2 colorless, a white, legendary creature, Kithkin Warrior. Whenever this creature ETBs or transforms into Brigid Clackcan Heart, create a 1/1 green and white Kithkin creature token. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay green. If you do, transform Brigid. And then the backside is a Brigid Downs Mind. Legendary creature, Kithkin Soldier. Tap, add X green or X white, where X is the number of other creatures you control. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay white. If you do, transform Bridge. Like, my thoughts so far is like it's a cradle that can color fix for white, but I'm not sure if there's like a lot of white spells I want to cast versus like green spells, right? Because like in the cradle shells, there's like the density of green is much higher than white is, and it's also not a full cradle because it says other creatures.
But it creates a 1/1 on enter, so
Oh,
it kind of
true.
replaces
Okay,
itself.
Sure.
And when it transforms.
That's cool.
So it
Okay.
actually is like, I understand what you're saying. It's not quite cradle,
Yeah.
but it is technically +1.
Oh, sure. And then like if it's a regular cradle, it's two
Yeah.
2 bodies, and then
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
3 next turn.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool.
Well,
see-
but
I
I
can
don't
see
think
this
I
going-
don't think that if you have this flipped, there's 0 chance you're flipping this back over, right? Like
Yeah, it's only when the
that's
front
what-
side enters.
That's why I say like you get 3, right? Because you get
It says enters or transforms.
the original
into
creature.
her though.
You get
Into
the ETB.
Clackens.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay. So you get only 2 creatures. That's fine.
Yeah, you only do.
Yeah.
So it is just straight up cradle. It's
Yeah.
because it's
Sure,
you
sure,
have
sure.
Yeah,
it
'cause
says
replaces
other,
the-
but it's creating an
Yeah.
other.
So I think that Yoshi Thras is looking at this card. They actually can use those white pips because they do want to cast like Grand Abolishers and Emil and Derevi, right? But I think my personal opinion is a little too slow in those decks. Like that's just
Yeah, it's another one I've flagged for Derevi. The more I'm seeing it, the more it's probably not good enough. It makes a body, which is nice. It's another cradle effect, which is sometimes what you need.
If we get Crypt back, this thing is gassed.
Oh
No,
yeah, I
totally,
agree with
yeah.
that.
Well, and then like I don't know, I'm on like Concordient Crossroads on Derevi, just like to like for the cheeky hate
Sure.
all of a sudden kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like sometimes that matters. Really doesn't matter because you're like transforming her. You have to transform her anyways, and you can only transform her on upkeep. But like there's weird flicker lines that maybe could be a thing. I don't know. I think eyes on it. I don't think it's quite good enough. But again, I think anything that has Cradle stapled to it and isn't too hard to get flipped
What I
is
do
worth a look.
think, what I do think is interesting is Wizards is showing us that they're not scared about printing Cradle effects, because this is the third one in like a few years, and that's kind of scary, right? Because like we had a Vendo, or is it a Vendo, the green?
Yeah, the station
The
thing.
station, and then we had this, and we had growing rights, right? So like this is a design space that they're looking at, that they're not scared to print another one of, and in reality, it's only inevitable before they fuck up and print an insane one.
Run board wipes, guys. Run board wipes.
Yeah,
Well, it's great to think of that the way their production cycle works. They probably already have printed the broken
Yeah,
cradle
sure.
or like, designed it. We just haven't seen it yet.
yeah, true. But
Is
yeah,
there anything here as like a commander? Because I feel like some people will try to run this as like a green white, like turbo stacks commander.
I think green white is just way too weak in cEDH right now.
Yeah.
Just like, and the like green and white don't suffer from making mana. They suffer from literally everything else.
Don't get me wrong, I agree. I think that if we are trying to like push the boundaries of
Sure.
what's possible with the card, there's reasons we're talking about this because it has a powerful effect. Like there's no doubt about that, but like I could see something with like Charismatic Conqueror and stuff with this card. Like it probably goes
Yeah,
kind of
sure.
crazy.
Well, also like so right now, if we're thinking about like Selesnya commanders, the two biggest ones that come to my mind are Sithis and then the
The other
Zavala.
enchantment one?
Elevere.
Elavir.
Oh no,
Elder
Derek
is
was saying
Zavala.
Savala.
Oh, green
and
white
a lot of those
Savala,
decks-
yes.
Or
Um,
Sisay, right? Green white Sisay?
Oh yeah, I
too.
forgot about that one. Holy cow! I think of that as just I think I've only ever seen that in the 99 of Derevi, so I always forget that's a game in it. But yeah, I guess that one does. All of these are commanders that are trying to, for the most part, do some form of like untappy stuff, and then win with infinite mana transitioned traditionally into like a Walking Ballista or something of that ilk, or just like a giant like Fanatic Devastation. And so while you are lacking access to card draw in the command zone, you do have access to a lot of mana. And then I guess you just hope that splashing white, you just play as many like Archivist and
Like
Trouble and Pairs effects as you can potentially.
Is there any like Staff of Domination or like Umbral Mantle stuff you can do with this that are like
Yeah,
kinda
I mean,
break it?
like it functions like those mana dorks where you can like combo with them, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure if that's what
Um,
you want to be doing.
I don't hate the idea of like playing like a what's it called, Winota type stacks deck. I guess like it's not the worst idea in the world, and like your conversion is just like making a shitload of mana and then casting a Walking Ballista or a Finale, or like even just like a weird like token generator that just like makes a ton of tokens and just like swings out at people if you have the board locked down. I think it's like a little slow and probably not the best strategy, but I could see it work every once in a while.
Okay, well, let's see. So how much mana do you need to go infinite with Staff of Domination? It's 7, 8.
you have to pay 5 to
Sure.
untap or something?
Is it 5 or 4 to untap?
I think it's 5 to untap and 1 to untap target creature. So that's 6 mana. So you need to be at 7 to be mana positive, right?
So you need 6 mana to have it even and 7 to have it
Wait,
positive.
it's paying 1 to
Oh,
untap.
it's one to untap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you need to make 5 mana with
Yeah.
So you don't need 6 or 7.
I mean, so if we're starting with 2
I'm gonna
creatures on
throw
the
you
board,
out the
and there's a
window.
lot of is really, really good at finding artifacts too.
Yep.
That's
So-
true.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just wanting to explore the space of, is there something
no,
that's there
it's,
with the
it's good for us to think about these
Yeah.
things, right? Because
People
if
will
they
try
just randomly come up in games, you want to be prepared for it.
Yeah, people will
Um,
try it.
I think like the most comparable thing if I'm going to play Yoshi Thras is like it's like a Itlamok, but Itlamok isn't summoning sick is the biggest
Mhm.
difference.
Also, if they do unban Jeweled Lotus, that commander goes crazy.
I was just about to say that. I was like,
Well-
in banning of Jeweled Lotus or Crypt, it does radically
He's
change.
also not summoning sick, right? Because you flip her on main phase after the turn you cast her, and it doesn't exile her; it just flips her.
Yeah, but she does have to sit for a turn.
Yeah,
Why does
just
she
sit for a
change
turn.
from a warrior to a soldier? Like, what is the effective difference between those two things?
That feels like she's moving down the chain of command.
Yeah, she's a
Dude,
berserker.
honestly,
take out
in like the
everyone.
Lorwyn lore, it probably makes sense. Because like they completely have different identities depending on the cycle. And so like she could be just like whatever on the light side, and then in the dark side she's something else, like completely entire.
Well, all I know is that one triggers Najila and one doesn't.
True.
Actually, does Myrel count warriors or soldiers?
Soldiers.
Oh, okay. There we go.
My rel tech, bro.
Are the ones that she creates warriors or soldiers?
Soldiers.
Soldiers.
That's my rel is like actually really busted in
What about-
casual games
what
because
about
she goes
Adeline?
exponential. Sure.
Wait,
Adeline is a thing you
ones,
can do.
The one ones that Bridget makes aren't soldiers or warriors.
Nope.
They're just Kithkins.
They're just
Yeah.
Kifkin.
Oh, they're
Ah,
just
dude,
oh,
trash
gosh.
card,
It's
bro.
this token. Like, what is this guy?
Yo,
If
is
I-
that a
What
pig?
the-
Dude, the pig is like
Dude,
he's got
that's a sick
the like
token.
dude,
eyeglass.
love with these tokens.
Sick ass.
Does he have a lollipop too? Like is his
Guys,
Aaron,
guys,
Aaron,
which animal
oh my
token am
God.
I?
That's so funny. All right, enough about this piece of shit.
Dude, if I built it as a commander, I could play
Holy
it.
bro.
All right. How do you guys choose a deck to start with in cEDH? How do you, like, if you meet a new player or you have a friend that's trying to get up into the format? We talked about this last week. We've talked about this in weeks past. What are the Kanto starters for cEDH?
Oh, like if okay, so like this is like if we were going to make like 3 starter decks for new players to play, I guess like Austin said it, I kind of like the Malcolm Val as like a starter option. There was another deck on top of my mind that I completely forgot about.
We had Tivit in there in the previous
Yeah,
discussion.
Tivit would be another one just because like if you play Tivit long term, it'll teach you good habits about the game and good threat assessment in
Mhm.
that regard. Malcolm Val will teach you like, oh, there's like this 1 card win con in this deck, and like I can utilize my black tutors to go figure out, oh, is this a game I go and play Horn Buccaneer, or is it a game I grab like Ristic Study, Mystic Remora,
Or do I breach?
yeah, or I go get like Breach, whatever, right? Do you guys have any suggestions for what our 3rd starter deck should be? Right, because there's like 3 starter Pokemon, so like what's our 3rd here?
I like the idea of Big Flips Kinnan, but I don't know if that teaches you good habits or teaches the format well.
Eric's probably gonna say like my like beginner combo Kinnan list, where it's just like try to make infinite mana, and then there's like all the outlets possible in the deck. Like what is the Eldrazi like little outlet that's
Oh,
I know,
on the
I know,
list?
I know, it's because it's 1 blue pip, right?
It's Devoid too.
Yeah.
It is
Ah,
devoid, yeah.
Yeah,
And you can-
Prophet of Distortion.
Yeah, and you can like flip into it and stuff, and then there's like Treasure Vault, and like obviously these cards are not seen play in like the no bad cards Kinnan list, but I think in a deck like that where you're trying to teach someone the game and like the flow of cEDH, you can point out like, hey, you're doing really powerful things. This is like a good way to do those things, and also like here's how you win the game. And it ran like Walking Ballista and stuff as like an outlet, just like, oh, you can make infinite damage.
but I like that for being the 3 rakes, so that there's the turbo deck, a control deck, and a solid mid range deck kind of thing.
Also
I
think
wouldn't.
big flips is just fun. I think that like
Sure.
when I'm trying to like convince someone to play CDH, that's something I try to remember is that like this far in, I definitely view it far more to like poker than I think a lot of like other games. But that's because like I remember like most of the card names at this point. So when someone plays like a Ristic Study, I don't have to like ask to see it so I can read it. But I think that like the most likely place for people to come to CDH from is, in my experience, more often than not casual. So while they're familiar with some of Magic rules, they probably either have played with like a very lax set for a while, or at the very least are like they're traditionally unfamiliar with the stack and almost always unfamiliar with like priority and things like that. And so I think that like Big Flips Kinnan doesn't use the stack a ton, and you just get to do like fun things kind of by accident, right? Like Grixis is really really powerful, but you do kind of have to like head in the right direction. Whereas Kinnan, you can just kind of like shit out mana and then like flip into like an Unagi or something.
It's like a slot machine almost. Whenever you hit the Kinnan button on big flips, you're like, oh, am I gonna hit Delighted Halfling off this flip, or am I gonna hit Hullbreaker Horde, Seedborn Muse, or like Constraints?
It's definitely a better slot machine than handing them a Krark deck. That is.
Oh, true.
everyone always comes to CDH and they're like, you know, I always liked Is It, so I put Krarkashima together. You know, Krark Chakashima. Have you ever heard of it? I'm like, oh my.
If I sit down with a Karkashima player and they don't start the pregame conversation with "here's how I'm handling all my flips," I'm like, if it's not a tournament game, please get me out. I don't.
No. If it
Hit
is
the
a tournament
Popeyes
game, you're just like,
Oh yeah,
let's
the
go.
tournament game is a whole nother.
Cast into my Ristic Study.
I have like kind of the opposite question to this, not to pivot, but it's gonna be useful for me, so I'm gonna ask it selfishly.
Okay.
How do you approach picking a deck to like play for long enough to actually be competent at it? And like, what do you think it requires? How long of an investment is required to be competent in a deck in your eyes?
Honestly, this was a super like fluid like concept, because some people, they can play a deck for like 3 months and then they're like, oh, here's all the ins and outs, and then other people, right, it'll take forever for them to learn all the ins and outs. I mean, it's like similar to like higher education, right? Some people are in it for their program and they have like 2 years on the program, and then other people, they have like a 10-year program, right? So it really is up to you on how you figure out how you feel like in that space on your deck.
I think what Jordan's asking is, when you are trying to pick a deck that you want to stay with long term, like what are some factors that you would try to identify about a deck that you're like, okay, maybe I can grow with this deck, or like come up as a player into the deck's strengths and stuff?
So personally, for me, I think a lot of it is play patterns. Like if I see the play patterns of a deck and I enjoy what the deck is trying to do, then that is something that I'm interested in, or it's something that I'm like trying to get better at, right? So I'm currently playing a Sisei deck, and I wanted to get better at my Necro pushes, and like the deck forces you to know how to do that, right? And then, but like the play pattern of like sitting behind a Ristic Study and playing the quote unquote cop until you have forced the window, I think is also like a play pattern that interested me. And so I think it really just depends on that. I think like if you're interested in Manual Storm, then like, oh hey, play VV, play Rog Thras, or play something along these lines. Play Semi Blue. Don't do that, please don't do that. But like I think realistically, like play something that you'll enjoy, like play pattern wise, and then I think that from there you will kind of just naturally try to enjoy it, right?
Yeah, to add on that, I think it's less commander specific and more win con specific, I think, is what kind of unlocked with me for like the CDH as a whole. Is like, I forget who it was, but someone was like reviewing or talking about Comedian, and they were like, he puts a bunch, like he has like 5 or 10 spicy cards in the list. Don't look at the list, right? Just look at the win cons, and that's what he's playing for. And that's kind of like what flipped some of the switch for me, at least inside of the CDH plays. So
I
it's
think
like
it was Mac P. I think.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that definitely checks out. So yeah, so I think it's like more of like learning the win cons, and then I think that like it's less of like learning a commander, it's more of learning what the win cons and like the play pattern of the deck. And then from there, like you can figure out what commander like fits well with that play style, or fits well with you playing it.
Well, just to riff off of that, like if you watch the POV video, I'm playing Shark-Eye, which is really like a control-ish deck, like mid-range, right? But in those 2 turns, I played like a Storm turn twice. And like that was really, really fun. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is why Hullbreaker Horror is awesome. And like this is why Displacer Kitten's sick, right? But you can take it, like exactly like Jack said, like you can take those win cons and like you can put them in Kefka, or you can put them in like the new Marlin or whatever. Like if you identify that you work well with those cards and like those types of styles, like you can build Storm and like Short Guy's like artifact Storm. Like I can just shit out artifacts, and then like that's really fun. And it's broken.
I do think that I think it was Tim talked about this like months ago, that like his original thought with like Marnius was like, hey, I want to build the best Tithe deck or something along those lines, and like just built from there and then reached the commander and was like, okay, sick, that is Marnius, right? Or like some people are like, I want to build the best Displacer Kitten deck, I want to build the best Breach deck, right? Like there are all these like ideas, and even when you're like listening to us talk, a lot of the times when we are talking about the decks that we're playing, like yes, we say the commander, but like a lot of the time it's like, no, I'm interested in this. Like the reason why I'm playing Sisay now is I like Necro and I like Breach. Like I needed to learn how to play these. That's why I'm playing them, right?
The fact that we play a format called Commander is a huge misnomer, because in like TNK, I hardly play Tymna and Crom, especially if I'm playing the full turbo list. Like, sure. And like in ROG Sai, yeah, you can play ROG, but are you playing Sai? Like, no. Like, yes, it happens sometimes, but like realistically, like you're not.
I mean, you can also like see the same thing with like Jason and Varix both playing like Vile Thras right now. Like that deck does not rely on those commanders at all. Like, and so like yes, they're playing Vile Thras, and then they just rip Necropotence 7 games in a row. Like, yeah, that's what they're interested in, right?
A dimension of your question that's sticking out to me, Jordan. I don't know if this is I don't think this is the primary direction you're really gonna take it, but I guess what's sticking out to me is I feel like I've ended up in situations a lot where I'm like, okay, in 20 weeks I've played 20 decks, and I have yet to get a win on any of them. And then you look over and you see the person who's been playing some random like 2 or 3 color pile, and you know, even though they're not making like top cut every week, or even if they're just some random like Kinnan, like Blue Farm player, they've gotten 1% better every single week. And so now, even though they only played 1 deck, and they lost roughly the equivalent amount of times that you did, they're now 20% better at 1 deck than you are any of those. And that's something I've struggled with a lot. I have a really difficult time sticking with lists. I think part of it is a lot of times I'll approach a commander almost like a project, where I want to put together a really good Kinnan list that like works for me. And then I'll get to a 99 that I'm really happy with. It performs consistently. And then the like brewing side of my brain just like shuts off. And based off my skill levels and my fundamentals, brewing is like 90% of what I have when it comes to cEDH. And so that's an area where I think I've probably learned by watching Jason. Challenge level, find a card that Jason hasn't tested in Blue Farm, like level impossible. Like, dude, I think you've done a really, really good job. Even if you think something is like very, very bad, I'll see you move packages in and out. And I've seen you approach tournaments as like, this is a tournament where my number one goal is to like, take it down and make 0 mistakes. And I've seen you approach tournaments, okay, I want to really test the more Grixis version, or now I'm going to put all like DRC and Bergie and both RP, and even if it's something you don't think as well, from a distance, it seems to me like that's helped to prevent any particular deck from feeling especially stagnant.
My night grinding station.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
I mean,
all you guys are brewers, because I think I'm on the other side where I just want to play a bunch, and it's like, whatever you guys think the best card is, I'll take it and run. I'll add my
I'm waiting for the call on Shorkai, Jax. Just let me know. You can buy anytime, dude. Okay.
If I crash out hard on Wrong Sai on Friday, we'll play Shorkai on Saturday.
Sounds good.
I just haven't found it yet. That's where that question comes from, right? Like, I don't really like Farm very much, or at least I haven't hit a rhythm with it where I enjoy the experience of playing it. Broadcast is like ridiculously fun, but I don't do very well with it. And I love Dargo, but I think that Dargo's best color pairings don't afford me the agency that I want to have in a game.
It's time to bring back the Dargo Thras.
Bring back Dargo Thras, dude.
Someone honestly was like in our Discord, actually tagged Logan and I in their thread for their deck list and was like, there's something here, the deck's not dead and more people need to look at it.
I don't doubt that. I think that if you put the Dargo game plan works well with the Thrasios game plan, like in general. They kind of mesh, right? I just don't think we've had someone that has dedicated themselves to learning that deck. But I think Dargo Thras would be really cool.
One thing I do want to comment about this question, because we get this question a lot, and I really want to emphasize this. I think that players, especially new ones, should be focusing on decks that have the capacity to win on a consistent basis.
Yep.
If you are not learning those decks, then you are not learning the format. I am not going to apologize for this, but I do not think Magda teaches anyone anything about cEDH.
I agree.
And that's not making any...
What are you talking about? Magda is literally better than Tim the Crop.
Oh my God. Best deck in the format. Proven best deck in the format.
Stop.
It even this post, it says Toolbox Commander. But no, Magda is trying to tutor for a win. There's
Magda's a turbo deck.
Right? That is a holistically wrong assessment of Magda.
Yeah.
And what is Magda teaching you about playing the stack? Nothing. What is Magda teaching you about, aside from sequencing and gold fishing? Okay, you can do those things, sure, but it just doesn't teach you anything. You should be looking for decks that are 3 color, maybe 4 color, but 4 colors pushing it for a new player. Probably 2-3 color that have a good solid plan of being flexible, but also giving you the space to learn things, and people can give you advice on them because they're kind of just generically good. TNT is maybe a decent example of this, but you'll probably outgrow that fairly quickly if you're a decent player. I mean, we look at the stats, and we'll talk about stats a little bit, but TNT is putting up very middle of the pack stats.
Well, I think to double down on that too, on why to do a multicolor deck and a deck that gives you a little bit more agency, is cEDH has a very limited card pool, right? Most decks in all of the colors are about 60 to 70 cards solved, right? Where there's just the best 60 or 70 cards to put in there. And part of learning the format, I think, as well, is just getting really comfortable with all of those cards. So if you're playing a deck like Magda, on the other piece of why it's hard to learn the format playing Magda is you're playing a bunch of cards with Magda, but aren't cEDH staples. So you don't end up learning all of the weird interactions with those cards. Whereas you pick up a deck like Tivit, Kidden, even down to the Malcolm Bile kind of thing, right? You're playing at the Grixis shell and you're learning.
If none of us
cards.
had seen Tivit before, like that is Men in Black wiped from our memories. We've never seen Tivit before. We could identify probably 85 plus cards in the deck.
Yeah.
Most likely, yeah. But most Esper shells are minimum 70 cards solved, but yeah, probably closer to that 80 mark.
Right, but we could look at the commander, we could assess it, we could say, okay, it's probably on Chain of Vapor. Oh my god, the commander costs 6. It's probably not on Fierce Guardianship. These type of things we can assess. And that's where your skill level as a new player, that's what you're looking for. You're not trying to win every game that you play. You're trying to just learn the format, because that's a big enough hill to get over. And if you're not in a space where you're able to learn the format, you're not going to want to play the format, because you're going to be losing games. You're going to feel oh, I'm stuck, I'm stagnant, I'm not having fun. And that's not what we want for new players.
Mm-hmm.
No, and this is what we talk about, the hidden advantage of heuristic study and stuff, right? It's really frustrating to lose a game and not understand why you lost that game, not understand where you went wrong kind of thing. And I think giving yourself more opportunity to see all the cards that give you agency, but also to understand what other players are doing to win, I think makes a lot of sense, right? Because you want to at the very least, understand why you lost that game. Going back and looking back on some of those early cEDH games that I was playing, at least that was a big piece that I was trying to do with all my opponents, is just where did I go horribly wrong? Why was this interaction? Why did I interact wrong? Can you give me some feedback here, right? And just having a little bit more agency and understanding where you went wrong in the decision tree, I think is really helpful to new players.
I hate comparing everything to Dark Souls, but I'm such a Dark Souls fan, right? But
Same,
we are literally in the Dark Souls of this format. This format cEDH is hard. Okay, there's a ton of barriers to entry. You're going to die a lot.
I mean, statistically, you're gonna die a lot, right? It's a 1 in 4 wins
Yeah,
the
25%
pod.
of the
Correct, but if
Yeah, but like that's even like that's discounting draws too, right? Like that is
Yeah.
like you should lose 80
But-
you should not win 80% of your games.
to continue the analogy, if you sit down with Dark Souls 1 and your computer can only do 10 frames per second at P, and you can use half of a controller with the other arm tied behind your back, and
And the
guess
audio's
what?
off.
You can't level up either. Like, you're going to have a bad time.
I've never
Dude,
played
hey,
Dark
weird
Souls, so I
tangent.
don't know.
Why are you gonna? Why don't do that to a new player?
Weird
Don't
tangent. Did you
do
see
that.
some guy just like beat all the Dark Souls games with a saxophone now?
Yes, that was so.
Oh no, I missed that one.
Yeah, like he
Was that
put
awesome
controller
dude that quit?
inputs as his saxophone,
So
and he was
sick.
able to play.
There's also that guy that did every single Souls-like game deathless in a single run
Yeah,
That's fucked
yeah,
up,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
in like one sitting. I was just
Uh-huh.
like, God,
In one sitting, no sleep.
something. It was like 14
It is something
or
crazy
16
like
hours,
that,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What would the CDH equivalent of beating all Dark Soul games deathless be?
I think it would be back-to-back like 20K tournaments, like
Not dropping a game.
not
Playing
dropping a
semi-blue.
game.
Or do you just go like 9-0 in the tournament? Like
Yeah.
7 rounds of Swiss, 2 top cut
Yeah.
games?
Yeah,
No
like the
losses?
fabled 35 points,
Yeah, 35 points out of Swiss and then
Yeah.
win top cut game.
and then redemption event the next day.
Yeah.
I was talking to Ian at Fishbowl, and he's like, dude, the Fabled thing is just like locking yourself day one at a large event. Like it just doesn't happen very often. And he's like,
Yeah.
I hate that I haven't been able to do it. And I was like, damn, dude, that's crazy. I would have thought that you had this for sure.
Hopefully, it's not a thing anymore because like I don't want to have a day 2 of Swiss. I want tournaments to
What are you
be.
talking about? I walked Combat day 1.
There was only
True.
one day.
I know.
Anyway, the one thing I did want to ask Jordan is like, before you brought up that question, like you had started the format most recently out of all of us.
Yep.
What was your experience like, real quick, just starting the format? Like, what deck did you start on? I think we all know the answer, but like, you know,
Yeah.
our audience doesn't know.
I started on Kefka. It was a list that I put together myself, which is not something I've done since. Like every other deck I've played has been either entirely someone else's list or heavily based on someone else's list. And I was doing like it was back when we thought like Broodlord was good in Kefka because you could discard it yourself and like if you drew it, and all the things that we know now are like just not great.
Sure.
But I don't
I
know.
mean,
I
all
felt
that to say that
really
you top forward twice.
yeah, back to back, and I don't do that anymore. Really, I think the biggest thing was like, and you mentioned this in the year review episode, Logan. Like not knowing actually is really helpful sometimes. Like when you can't overthink things yet, and you're just like, oh, these cards win the game. It's time for me to win the game. Sometimes you just win when you slam those, because like sometimes people just don't have it, and when you know enough to know like more accurately compute the situation that you're in, sometimes you'll talk yourself out of the correct thing and die. And that
I will
happened.
tell.
This
I will
is
tell
the beer
anyone
plateau
this.
for me, right? Is the confidence just to be like,
Yeah.
and we're going now, right?
I will tell anyone this. Like, I'm fucking stupid. Like, I'm really dumb. I will try to make like cute plays, and then Jason will like look over and be like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "I
Yeah.
don't know, because I want to do this." And he's like, "Why don't you just do this instead?" I'm like, "Oh, like." But yeah, I mean, ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Yep. I think it is, and I think like coming in, I haven't even answered your question yet. Like coming into the
Oh, it's okay.
format, I think there's never been a better time to do it. There's so many channels, there's so much access to good players and content and lists and primers and like everything you could ever need. The league is a great place to play online, but my experience, like, it's the like coolest group of people I've ever gotten to participate in. Like it's an incredible format to play in, and I think that it's extraordinarily punishing. It is. Dark Souls is such a good analogy, and when my team and my play group is like, you know, several of the top 100 players in the world, top 10 players in the world, it's like very demoralizing sometimes.
Sorry.
No, in like a good way, right? It's like it's something that you-
honestly, CDH now is like a lot less punishing than it was before the bans.
sure.
Because before the bans, you could straight up die on turn 2 to Dockside, and there would be nothing you could do about it. And you're like, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah,
And
you
then-
blink your Urza Saga's land for turn, enabling their Chthonian Nightmare loop, and you just have this like Jessica thrice board player staring at you.
And then like the other thing is like if you screw up your random Dockside line, you
Someone
have a
clones it.
dockside in play, so someone
Yeah,
else can be
clones
like,
it.
ah man, here's Magda activation for Curse Mirror now, get fucked.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
The big draw to the format, though, too, right? Is like you're able to sit down and play with Michael Jordan, right? Like you can play with the best players,
Dude.
right? And want to play with you, which is sick.
Yeah,
I just
mean,
actually had this conversation with one of our locals, and they're like a little concerned about going to Rumble, and they're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do against like some of these like killers that are going to be at Rumble, and I was like, bro, you play with Jason every week,
yeah.
like, what are we talking about here? Like, if you can play against him, you're fine. Yeah, we might not take games off of him all the time, but like, if you're not intimidated by that experience, you shouldn't ever be intimidated by an experience, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm just a 21-year-old that has 100 pieces of cardboard in their deck. That's it. That's literally it.
And anytime someone talks about Jason, I just imagine the card Delighted Halfling, because I'm like, Jason's just so happy all the time, but he's also like, he's like 20. Like not that you're short, but like you're just, you're just like a little guy. Like
I definitely don't have as much life experience as
Dude.
any of you guys.
right.
What broke the facade of Jason was when I started traveling with him, and he brought Bear out, and I was like, oh, he's actually a child.
Bro, he's
Like-
the goat. He's my goat.
Bringing stuffed animal places underrated. I still think one of my favorite traditions is when me and Sarah were dating. What we did for our 1-year anniversary was we went to Build-A-Bear Workshop, and I'd never been, and so they go through the whole thing where give it a hug so it knows what your hugs are like. Say its name or stuff like that. And so I've also brought my rabbit to every CDH tournament I've traveled to. I definitely froze when they asked me to name it, so I just started working through the alphabet with names that could be similar to Rabbit, and I made it to Babbitt. So I went to Abbott. No, that's a priest. Babbitt, good enough.
I was gonna say, Eric, that's 2 letters.
True story. 100% true story.
I'll bring my stuffed monkey to Rumble, and we have a tea party with everyone.
We have to get like a 4-pod of them.
Damn, this is what I'm missing out by going to Breach.
Yeah, you don't get to see the Bear play CDH.
Anyway, I think this is a good conversation about like just getting started in the format and stuff, and I think everyone's experience will be different for sure, but try to make your friend's experience and your experience a good one. So a little bit of effort and research and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one last thing to add to that too, right, is just expectation when you're starting to do some tournament circuits and stuff is just expect to lose 100 games kind of thing, and expect to punt horribly during those, and that's part of the process, right? Just like Dark Souls, where you got to die 47 times to figure out the bosses.
Go to this page. Go to EDH Top 16. And go, okay, why are these commanders good? Start watching gameplay.
Dude, no name commander is so crazy, dude. It's literally better than Tivit.
top 3.
Most things are better than Tivit, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, unless you play it the right way.
Yeah, speaking of no-name commander, Mind Sculptors did their end-of-year kind of breakdown for the best commanders in 2025 in CEDH, and TK was at the top. I think really that's what everyone expected, but it's not like, I don't know, the deck is fine. It doesn't need
they had a
adjustments.
direct conversation there too, is it's not a problem commander, right? They don't think it's a problem with the format. It just is.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a best deck.
Honestly, it's a good poster child for the format, because you get to do like the most insane stuff on it, but it's not like the tier 0 commander, like how Ellis has like his tier list on like jungle champions.
Z tier.
Yeah, and there's like if you play this champ, you're like 70% win rate and nothing else matters, right? Like
I will say, it's part of their conversation, they were very okay with the banning of Timna if it happens in this episode.
I don't like that discussion. I mean, I don't mind the discussion. I don't like where they led with that. I don't agree with banning Timna and Ragnarok.
Look, I don't either, but I do think that they had some like merit to like what their thoughts were. They're like, Timna has been part of the best deck in the format for 10 years, and if it was any other format, that card would not exist.
But we're not any other format, and we're an eternal format.
The problem
but
with
eternal
it is,
formats
though,
also still get bans, right?
Yeah, but if you ban Timna, like, It's bad. It's net negative for the health of the format overall because Timna is what allows a lot of low color non-blue piles to even be possible. And without her in the zone, I think a lot of the non-center archetypes just get worse.
Not my Timna Halana, bro.
As much as I don't like Timna Dargo personally, I don't think that deck should be removed from our format. I think that deck actually provides like a really good and interesting balance and foil to what some of the other decks are doing. So like I don't mind sitting across from a Timna Dargo. Is that a deck that I will play actively? Probably not. Like it's not my style. But I don't think that deck should be just like erased from the format because people don't like Timna.
I tend to agree. And I said like before, I'm not advocating for a ban of Timna at all. I don't advocate for a ban of any card at this point. But it was an interesting conversation that they had.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to push back on these discussions. So if like we don't agree, putting that out there that like, hey, there's dissenting opinions to these type of things because it is objectively true that Timna's been in the format for 10 years, but that doesn't mean that it needs to be banned.
There's also like a almost equal, if not equal, representation of Thrasios on this list. And yes, it's not slot 1, but like I don't know anyone talking about banning Thrasios.
They actually talked about banning Timna, Thrasios, and Rograg.
In Rog. It was Timna Rog for sure, and it was possibly.
Oh, I'm playing Kinnan forever though. What are we talking about?
I think that's the issue, right? Is like that it's like not even close.
You're shifting the goalposts down to like actually, you know what? Like Kinnan's here, Timnacrom's like here, right with it, right? But then if you like move the goalposts down, so like where that deck can't exist anymore, like decks like Kinnan are just like standing alone. They're just like out there, like on top, and that's not what we want. We want all the decks to be at the power level of those decks.
I think if you ban Timna, the health of the format looks worse than it does now.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I definitely agree. I think it definitely homogenizes, right? Like there becomes a clear best deck.
My hot take is that if you were to like actually, okay, again, not advocating for any bans in this format at all because I don't think that's what should happen. But if you had like, if I had like a gun to head and they're like, hey, ban whatever cards you want and you have to ban some, but you have to ban some of them.
Ban a Tali, bro.
Cradle.
True. It's actually a Tali. But really, if you were like actually thinking about the health of the format and you had to ban something for power level, it's actually banning like 20 cards. But we don't want to do that. Like, I don't think that's on the table at all.
You're essentially creating another format then.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that you have to like chop off the head and then every other head that comes out of that head, right? Like, the format becomes something so completely different. But it's something along those lines is what I would do.
Banning cards right now is the same problem as playing hard stacks, right? Like there's too many like Hydra heads to like cut off, and hard stacks is like, okay, well you played Rule of Law, but like that doesn't stop decks like Tyem, or you play like Curse Totem, but that doesn't stop decks like TK, right? So if you just like ban selective things, other things can push through, and like they become like overpowered. If you're in a deck, or if you're in a pod with, let's say I'm playing Tivit, and I'm playing, or let's say I'm playing Sithis, okay? And I play Curse Totem, and then there's a Kinnan and a Rog Thras. They can't play the game, but TK can. And like that is not a pod that anyone wants to be in because now the table is completely unbalanced. And like, we don't want to do that to the format.
Oh, thoroughly agree with that. I think I'm actually on the other side where just more bannings would be dope.
Oh, Austin, you've played Legacy, right? What's like the presence of like the top deck in that format?
I think like when it's like the most egregious, it's like 10 to 15%. But like that's when it's really, really bad. But most of the time it's, you know, like less than 10% is like the highest. But like if you're like looking at modern and standard, it's a lot more like egregious.
Yeah, it'll get up until like
it was like 70% of the meta or something like that, 70 or 80.
What's up?
When like VV Cauldron was a thing in standard.
Yeah.
That was like that, but that obviously that's like a huge problem. But that was like by far a majority.
You also have to understand like when we're like comparing ourselves to like different formats, like other 60 card formats, like they have a lot more stats that they can look at. Like those stats actually matter a lot more when it comes to like card choices and play patterns. And like in a lot of our format, like some of that stuff isn't super useful. right? When you're like comparing yourself to like standard, like VV Cauldron was just known as the best deck because they had so much stats to like actually back it up. But like if you were to like look at our format, like there's so much subjectivity that it's like really hard to just like make a flag in the ground being like this is the best deck in the format. And like right now, like yes, these two people agree, but like there is rumblings that people are saying that Kinnan is the best deck in the format, and I don't think they're wrong.
I think Kennen actually is the best, and I actually think in the highest ceiling deck, I think is Rogsai. And there's just not
It's
like that
Rogsai
many
and
great
Kinnan,
Rogsai.
guys.
Yeah.
TNK is the third best deck in the format.
Dude, Jason's just saying this for propaganda's sake, though.
No, bro. I'm God, bro.
I don't disagree, but I also don't know that it's worth making the distinction because like the decks are so close and that is the level that we want all of these other decks to be at. Like we want the decks to be broken because we like how those decks play out, and like they feel like that is when you're for us, like we're a tournament grinder channel, right? We focus going on to like the tournaments and performing well at them. We all look at those decks and go like, yeah, this deck's cool, but does it do something as broken as any one of those three? And the answer is always no.
What do you guys think about this list overall? Like, obviously, we don't have time or desire to do our own tier list, but when you looked at their breakdowns, how did you feel like about the year in review?
Why is Atali on this list?
Yeah, that's a
They had a
true
good
statement.
year, right? Like,
Atali had a good
that's-
year, but I don't think the deck is.
Atali had a good like 2
fantastic.
months, not a good
Yeah,
year.
fair.
Like Atali was just a really good deck to break through that like mid-range slot
I was gonna say, I think
meta
it's
that people were
less-
thinking.
Yeah, it was less about Atali being a good deck there, and it was more of it was just really well positioned in the meta because everyone was playing clones.
So
Right.
are the lists like are the
They're their
like,
personal choices for 10.
so is Cal's list left to him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. Kinnan's way too low, bro.
Yeah.
Kinnan's way too low.
And you got to also understand that these lists were taken from like Cal that doesn't really play a lot of tournaments, but just like is constantly looking at stats, and Ian that is a tournament grinder that is constantly playing in tournaments and has like vibes, right?
And is not looking at stats.
And is not really like he is looking at stats, but
sure,
like
but
he's also putting a lot more merit into like what his thoughts are when he's like playing against these decks or when he is piloting them. I tend to agree with a lot of what Ian has on his list. I think that like once you get down to like 7, 8, 9, 10, I think it's a little bit worse for me. But I agree with like the top 6 right there.
I don't know that Thrash Yoshi will make a list for me of top 10. Raoul probably will, just because it's been putting up good results, and I've seen people like Pigeon playing it and like doing really well with it. 5-color soup is probably apt for me at like number 9. Like I think
TNT is too high on the list.
TNT.
I'm not gonna lie.
I agree.
If it was replaced with Thrasvile, I agree with that.
but based on like no statistics though.
Yeah, that's fine.
I also don't agree with Ian putting Sisay at number 5 when like that is actually like trad Sisay is what he's talking about, and I'm like, there's
because
no
Austin
way.
doesn't even want people to know his deck, you know.
True.
You think he's definitely talking about Trads to say there?
If you like listen to the podcast, like they definitely have separated Sisay versus 5-color soup.
Yeah,
so
that's number 9 is 5-color soup.
Yeah, so like that is not just like
I think
breach
Chowder is
Sisay.
way better than Trad.
Yeah. I'm actually blown away to think that. Yeah, I don't know. I
think that he's like specifically he does like the Sisay that has the tutor chains, but is not on the Planeswalker lines.
Well,
so it's like
here's the
leaning
thing.
onto Derevi Emil a lot more than the
and like
other
the
ones.
Marvin stuff and the Iorith.
Yeah, and the Iorith.
Sure.
Like that's kind of what he's looking at, which I think that deck is a lot better than
Normal
Planeswalker
Trads.
Sisay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm not so eager to call Ian wrong because Ian is objectively ranked higher than me and has way more experience.
Infinite experience.
Also, Ian travels to all kinds of tournaments.
All of them.
And his locality is extremely different than ours.
Yeah.
We travel to tournaments, but we don't travel to tournaments every 2 weeks or every week.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the placement of Ral on these lists?
I think it's too low on Ian's, personally.
I agree.
Yeah. I think
Like,
Ral
look,
is broken.
Honestly, I think it's fine placement for Ral, right? Ral is a deck that like it was like Rogsai from like a year or two ago, right? Where it's like it cooks Swiss, but then you hit top cut, and then everyone is like, guys, we're sitting down with a RAL. Let's not lose to the RAL, and then the RAL doesn't actually do anything.
RAL actually has 0
Mhm.
60+ wins.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
It's like,
they like kind of mentioned that, right? And they in the podcast they basically talk about how RAL, like if you want to top 16 a tournament, like learn RAL, but like understand you're probably never winning an event.
So here's what I think we're gonna do. We're gonna cap off this segment, and we'll say, like, if you want to go listen to their explanations, I highly recommend you go do that. But what I think I will try to do is, instead of us just making a video on this, because like we make videos on all kinds of stuff, and there's plenty of people doing top 10 lists on cEDH. I think maybe we'll try to like I'll like interview some people like in our group, and we'll do like a top 5 of like, here's what all the top 5s are for everyone in our group, and then we'll post it on like Adnaz or something where people can read it. And then
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
three to
sounds
6
sick,
months
I'll
from
do
now,
it.
we'll go back and look at it and go
Yeah.
evaluate it and go, okay,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
changed, from there. So
I like that a lot.
yeah, but
Fun.
I would highly recommend watching this, because like Tim and I refer to like watching videos like this. Not that we're not fans of Ian and Cal, but we refer to like doing research as like watching tape, like you would in like football. I have to like listen to other people's opinion, whether I
Mhm.
like or disagree with them or not. It doesn't matter, because I need to know like what's going on in our format. So
Mhm.
go watch tape. Speaking of watching tape, you should watch this video, but I don't know that you should agree with Sam's takes on what the top decks are in the format.
I think what I gained more from this is his logical thinking and his thought processes. Like those are worth more to me than a list about commanders that are better than Tim McCrom. Because
Yeah, I agree.
if I'm being honest, I definitely don't agree that Wandering Minstrel and Magda are better than Tim and Crom, but it is very interesting to listen to Sam like give his reasoning on why he thinks it's better.
I agree.
I felt
Um,
like every position, if you listen to the way Sam explains the decks, I think every position is defensible. From like his position on
Mhm.
them makes sense when you listen to him talk about it.
I
And
am concerned that like we're making arguments for just like the sake of making arguments, and like the sake of being different, when like it's pretty clear that there's 3 top decks in the format, and the reason that the top players are not putting effort into these decks is because the highest highs of these decks are not what the other ones are.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do think that when it comes to this video, like, I don't agree with a lot of his takes, as in very many of them at all. I do understand, like, why he comes to these, like, conclusions, but I don't agree with it, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, and, like, that's okay. Like, it's not us, like, shitting on Sam for having different opinions or anything like that. But to the same extent, you can form your own opinions by like what he says, and
Mhm.
and like there is logic and reasoning behind what he's talking about, and like that's commendable for sure. But I don't know, like Wandering Minstrel is better than TK. Like, has Minstrel put up any massive results?
So I remember listening to this podcast. It's been a while since I've listened to it because it was released audio before it was ever touched in video.
Mm.
I know that when he was like talking about Wandering Minstrel, he said that the ceiling is the highest on this deck because no one has really figured out what it should and can be doing, and like it does have kind of a weird broken rule on top of like the stat line or the like the line of text on it. I think that like if you watch this video as someone that primarily plays Rogthras and does talk about in the very beginning of the video being like, these are the decks that I'm most scared of sitting across from me, I like kind of understand why he ranks some of these things over TK, but like it doesn't account for the like invisible value that TK gets that people just don't respect a lot of the time.
The other thought I had about this video, because he doesn't actually explicitly state this or not, is like, is it explicitly ranking the commanders in isolation, or is it the deck in its entirety? Because like on their surface, TNK provide card draw, which is valuable, but they don't innately enable anything broken, like in isolation of themselves. And I don't know if that was the case or not.
I think the other thing that is like to be stated is that I think Sam Black values mana generation more than card advantage, and you can see this in like his affinity for putting Lotho or Magda on this list, right? Or even like any of the other commanders on this list. They generally make more mana than TNK will make.
I agree with that.
On
Yeah,
the other hand, like drawing cards makes mana almost inherently, right? Because like if you have free rocks in your deck,
Sure,
if you
sure,
have
sure.
rituals,
Yeah.
the mana will flow if you are able to get card draw. If
Yeah.
you rip an ad naus and you have no mana left over, and your deck is built to convert an ad nauseum, you can generate mana and win the game.
I will
Because like
also
our win
say-
cons in that archetype are like not mana intensive.
I will also say this is something that is like a little incidental, but Sam does not play against some of the best like TK players in the world, right? Like his locals don't specifically play that deck, and the only time he sees it is like in some of these larger tournaments when like the quality of TNK players isn't the best a lot of the times, and like it's pretty rare for him to play against like very good TNK play. Realistically, the first time he did play against a lot of them was at the Invitational, and it greatly changed his mind on the deck, right? Like he openly was like, "Oh, I needed to change my Rogdrass list because of playing against these good pilots."
It's definitely something that like piques my interest when it comes to Sam, because I think he's one of the like I've really appreciated the opportunity to just sit down across from the table and talk to like a lot of some of the bigger names in cEDH. I think that's like a huge privilege that I've gotten to have by getting to be part of a content creation team. And I just never gotten the chance to have a conversation with Sam. I'm particularly interested in him because cEDH is a new enough format that while I would consider us part of a second wave of content creators, we still don't really have cEDH old heads yet. Like people who have been playing cEDH for like a decade plus. And so Sam represents, I think, one of the people who has been playing professional Magic the longest in our format. And
He's
so
also-
not to say that he automatically gets like he could say whatever he wants and it becomes gospel, but more so, I'm so curious about. I would agree with a lot of you guys that like a lot of the stuff he says doesn't pass the sniff test for me, but that also makes sense because I don't have his experience. I'm not playing it as LGS, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he came here and he played at level 7 for a month. I would trust. I would bet money on his ability to find a way to like start spiking tournaments. And see
But I also
something.
think his opinions would change very quickly.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
This is
And
another
so
thing
I guess
that like
I want to be able to see the window that he's looking through to come to those opinions, and then try to like point that telescope at like the Denver meta.
So
I
one
think
thing
the-
that like I do want to just like mention is Sam. Apparently, I've never really gotten to play with them, but they are amazing fundamentally, mechanically. They're just an amazing player. They're also just an amazing brewer. In every single format that he's played, he has come up with a deck that has like relatively broken the format, or has like made a giant shift in what can and should be perceived as like the top decks. I will also say that he's like very open about his locals having a lot of stacks players, and that is a lot of the reason why he probably disrespects Blue Farm a lot, is because unless they are phenomenal Blue Farm players, it's really hard for that deck to break through stacks a lot of the time, because like their main win con is shut down by basically every stacks
I
piece.
count to 7. Overload Rift.
Yeah, exactly.
I
But
don't,
like
I don't even play right.
I know.
like most farm players aren't playing Rift and like have 2 answers for stacks pieces at this point. And
Yeah.
so like
Like,
I understand his perception, I just don't agree with it, right?
This
Well, it
also
might
just,
be
like,
like a
ahead.
Vafnar situation, right? Like on Vafnar's road trip, which check out the post on Adnos.
Oh,
Like he got
yeah.
out here and played some games with us and was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And not to say like we're not. I think we have a unique meta just like everywhere else does, but there is something particularly unusual, I think, about a lot of what happens here relative to other people's experience.
yeah. I think looking through just more trying to understand Sam's lens too, I think
Yeah.
that flipped my view of looking at this list when I realized that mana is valued higher than probably valued higher than drawing cards.
Mhm.
And in my head, it's so much the other way, where like I'm so focused on drawing cards and the mana will come kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's and I guess playing into a lot of stacks, having more mana is probably half the time more useful than having more cards there. But I don't know, having more answers. But
The one last thing I will leave everyone as a parting question with, at least on this topic, is what do you think the crossover of 60 card experience to cEDH experience is? Because as we know, we are all playing Magic the Gathering, but at some points I look at what we're doing, and I look at what people in 60 card, especially like standard, modern, are doing, and I'm like, wow, these are fundamentally different games. Like, yes, the core is the same. We see like some of the same cards, but like, holy shit, like what you need to do in our format is just totally different than 1v1. And like, I don't know if the answer is like 60%. Some of the stuff crosses over. I think like a lot of it is mindset and like just being able to quickly assess how good cards are and whatnot, and like that's great. But it's not like you can just go from, man, I'm like a legacy grinder, I've played legacy tournaments and done really well, and you know what, I'm going to take the next step and go to vintage. Like that, there's like 90% crossover in those two formats, maybe more. But when you go from something like that to cEDH, I think that there's much less crossover.
Yeah, I mean, like, I tend to agree with that, because just adding 2 additional opponents from going from 1v1 to a 4-player free-for-all, you add different skills that you need to utilize, like talking to the table and all of that. The card pool is like sort of fine compared to vintage or like legacy to this format, because it's like you get your very powerful spells. You just have to add like more variety in terms of that, because we can't play like 4 Force of Wills, so we end up playing like Force of Neg, Force of Will, Mana Drain, whatever, Flusterstorm, Mindbreak Trap, right? I think it's hard to put a percentage on this, but it is definitely a different experience.
I think also the consistency is an important one to talk about. Like, back to, you can't run 4 of a card, but then also playing to your outs gets a little bit different, because like I think there's less consistency and less being able to count on top decking the right answer. But at the same time, I think the fundamentals and like sequencing is still incredibly important. Like, if I had to just pull a number, my gut number is like 65% is about what that crossover
Maybe
is.
67.
Yes,
Okay.
67. There we are. Yeah, that's what it was supposed to
All
be.
right, leave a comment about that.
If you're this far into the video.
I'm thinking about bringing this deck back, and I wanted to talk about it. I got to make 5 cuts. I know that you guys are various levels of fan of this deck. I think the deck's fine. Like, I think Jessica is okay. Like, we get to play Breach and all that stuff. Krark is obviously broken, and Delny gets to double Krark and all this other stuff in the deck too, and that's fun. But I think it might be like decently well positioned right now, given that the turns are like we have like maybe 1 extra turn that we didn't have 6 months ago.
This is the Logan move to cut Ranger Captain.
Yeah, you're probably
You
right.
know it's getting cut.
Honestly, for this deck, I don't mind cutting Ranger Captain, Voice of Victory, Grand Abolisher.
I think I should be on just
There are
Voice.
not effects that you actually need with Krark, right? Because
Yeah,
Krark
'cause
is
that's why
like,
you're playing Krark, right?
it's like
Just like-
undeterministic storm. It's not like your opponents, you really care about your individual spells getting countered. It's just like you're amassing a influx of like high amounts of random bullshit within the game. And it's like the same thing with Rod Thras, right? Like, it's scarier to see like
Random bullshit. Go.
yeah, it's like
Yeah, well,
just
you're
you
not trying to
throw
cheat, right? You're
random
just going over
you
top.
just throw random stuff into play, or
Yeah.
you cast
well,
random
also,
stuff. It's
Voice
not
of
like it's
Victory and
individually
GA are going to
good.
present you with like a pretty difficult turn 2 dilemma of like, do I play a stacks piece for my opponents or for myself? For myself, I'll play Krark. Like,
But I think in this deck, actually, fundamentally, like, I don't really want to play Krark early, because the shell is like pretty solid. The color shell is pretty good. So
Yeah, you're essentially using Krark as your Grand Abolisher, right? Like, as like that's
Yeah.
how you turn the corner.
How to go over the top.
Scouts warning, guys. Scouts warning.
I'm not on Scouts Warning yet, but like it was in the deck. Scouts
Advance.
Warning is a
Why is
Is
there
that
an
a-
Angel's Grace in here?
Because you can build your own time sieve with Angel's Grace and Final Fortune.
Sure. That is
That's-
a thing
no.
that you can do.
Thing that you can do.
It's the build your own time walk.
Yeah.
Most card.
Oh, Abeyance? That thing? It's a silence that draws you a card.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about playing this card in Wandering Minstrel when I was all in on Passaggio.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably cut Grace and like. Oh yeah, here's Scout's Warning. There it is.
You should go up on Revel.
Maybe I want like 1 mana. I want 1 mana cantrips and stuff like that. I want stuff to trigger Storm Kiln and like if I resolve
Are
a
you
Storm
supposed to be on
Kiln or
Rao?
anything.
That
Where's
was
your-
I literally was just about to say that.
I was thinking
Like-
about Rao as well.
Where's your Archmage?
I've thought about it, but like again, we're in 3 color. Like in 2 color, it's possible,
Sure.
but like I'm running out of room.
Mm.
Like Mockingbird might go, but it's like a double harmonic. I don't know.
I think it makes
Anyway,
If you cut Ranger, it probably makes sense to cut Bird. But I don't know. I'm
yeah.
not-
Okay, is Clark's Thumb actually good in this? Or
Yes.
no?
Yes.
Okay.
Because yeah, it's a
You
2
can-
generic doubler, right?
You can Enlighten Tutor it.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Anyway, I did want to show off this list. Like I have, this is not the main one. Making some edits to
Just
it.
cut a
Probably
land. I
try
mean,
it.
like, that's what everyone does, right? Just cut lands.
You probably can cut Trouble in Pairs too.
I was just gonna say,
Like,
do you need Trouble in
It's
Pairs?
great when
Yeah.
it lands, but like you're already a mid-range buster with the pile, right? Like I don't think you need more cards to help you bust the
Yeah.
mid-range.
No, but he needs like Jeskai desperately needs cards to like. be
Yeah,
able
I
to,
don't think
like,
No,
push
no,
it
no,
and
no.
go in.
Yeah, I
But
kind of
then
do.
But
I
is Trouble in
think
Pairs the
you
best
just
option
do you just do the Kinnan thing where you play Copy Enchantment Mirror
Yeah.
Maid instead of Trouble in Pairs, and I think that's just better.
that's
Yeah, that's probably
fundamentally
true.
better,
It's-
right? Like I
it's
think
I
better.
was on that
just mirror
before, and I
maid's
just
better.
cut it. I just cut it.
I do think that this deck should be on Archivist of Ogma since you're on Delny.
Or yeah, maybe. I think the problem is
Or
that
Wanshi.
we're like going
Wanshi.
too much into creatures when Clark is like, I cast instant and sorcery.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deck is like okay.
Is it
Largely, I
time
want to do.
cut PFP.
No, it's a treasure outlet with Tavern Scoundrel and Stormkiln.
Okay.
It's good enough. Trust me.
Okay.
Is Pyrokinesis better than Lightning Bolt here? I don't know if I saw Pyrokinesis in the list.
Or you
It's not.
looping Lightning Bolt to kill people.
Lightning Bolt's just seems like good enough. I was just like looking for 1 mana spells that do stuff. Like I think Get Probe's probably the poster child for the deck,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and obviously like Krakashima as well. And Overmaster's fine, and like Step Through gets us the Harmonic Prodigy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
On the Clark vein, like a couple months ago, I brewed Clark Thras, and that was probably the worst deck I have on my Mox field. It's so bad.
yeah. And then how about this? We will do okay. We'll leave that. That's enough of Krark and Ishai for now. And then really quick, we will end on this. Let's see if I can.
You could
do
just
this.
screenshot it, and then we can read through everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
the
rather...
Patreon questions.
Oh yeah.
Oh sweet.
Yeah, here I'll just do this. What I want to do is
Sup, gang?
Was that?
is it here? Am I missing it? That was a Chrome tab. No.
Ooh,
What happened?
just the pause thing again.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Tim's first one, right? Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna give each of you a question. I'll just read it, and then
Okay.
we'll go in order.
What
And
is
we'll
that
give like
Echo
a
video
like
coming out?
like a 1 to 2 sentence, like real quick.
Ooh, that's
Like,
fun.
I
I
mean-
like that.
Okay, like
Okay.
speed round. Okay.
But do we have to? What if
Yeah,
like,
like your
we want
answer
to
would have to be able to
elaborate?
fit on like a fortune cookie.
Oh,
Sure.
that's fine.
Okay.
Twitter post.
All right, so we got some questions from Patreon chat today, kind of like last minute, but we're going to do a speed round and then we'll just close out with that. So Merlin Tim says, what are fringe decks like Yurika really missing to keep them out of the mainstream meta? I'm going to give this one to Jordan.
I think that like Yuriko's maybe not. How do I answer this question? 1 or 2 sentences.
God, I want to
Um,
answer this question.
No, shut up.
You're not
I-
allowed.
So there's a couple of limiting factors for Yuriko. Colors and winning the game are like specifically about that deck. But I think that fringe decks lack support because people are unwilling to fail at them for long enough to become great at them, is my synopsis.
Welder ZE says, what are some skills that a player who has only played casual / for fun cEDH would need to learn before their first tournament? I'll give this one to Jack.
Ooh. Winning the game would be like my big one. Knowing your win lines and your pattern to win the game. And then I guess the second one would be like actually yapping, like how to control your appearance at a table. I think matters a lot.
All right. Battle Shatner says, for skills / sequencing intensive decks like Rogsai, what are key points for improving on those decks? Austin?
For sequencing in or intensive decks like Rogsai, I think that it's all about goldfishing. Like you're actually only caring about probability and your actual sequencing, so you just need to practice, and run math, essentially.
Okay. Ninja Nikan says, when is that Necropotence vid Logan said you made coming? And I'll ask myself this. Jordan and I are working on that.
Hop out, bro. What a hop out.
Jordan and I are working on it. Jason makes some unintelligible statements that we have to sift through.
Whatever, guys.
Rakusen
the
says,
necro cut, dude.
Rakusen says, what are some fringe decks you'd love to see get some support? Or fringe decks you enjoy playing against? Jason?
It's so hard to answer this question. Like for the fringe decks to receive some report or some like support, like you have to print stuff specifically for them that only works in their like shell versus something like, you can just put another mana rock, it'll go into the deck, but it also goes into like TNK, right? So you have to make something specifically unique to it. What are some fringe decks I'd love to see get support? Honestly, I don't really play any fringe decks necessarily. Maybe Gretchen, or like Hulk decks get more support as well because they're
personally, I think
generically fun.
I really, really, really want to see support for Reanimator in our format.
All right. The Croche asks, are you and Logan brothers? Eric, what is your response to this?
Brothers from another mother, but no.
Blackbeard509 says, how does one become like thee? I have 0 aura. Back to Jordan.
Do a bunch of shit unrelated to cEDH and let that experience carry over into your next experience. And that's true for everything in life.
Participate in the world. Your house, you should only be sleeping at your house, only be home 8 hours a day, and that's sleeping. Like, participate in the world.
The first time Jax and I got in the car together, like 30 minutes later, it's like, did we just become best friends? Like, the excitement level was so high. It was great for that reason.
Big stoke.
Vufzi, I don't know how to pronounce that, says, when you're a player that consistently top cuts locally but struggles to convert at larger events, what advice do you have for leveling up your game? Ooh, who do I give this question to? I'll give it to Austin.
Say fuck it and actually try to win the game. That's actually like my real answer is like there's so many times when you're playing in these like large tournaments that people play greedy because you need to, and I think that you should also join in and play greedy and just try to win because a lot of times people just don't have it.
All right. Emily says, Jason is Calvin's brother / uncle. There's no question there.
I don't have a response to that.
Michael Church says, the brunkle. Malcolm X says, for our last question of the night, is the meta shifting towards 4-color green and red decks or even 5-color soup? What do you think, Eric?
I feel like every time we see a transition from mid-range to turbo, we start to see people transitioning towards higher color piles because they tend to be really, really good at being able to move between one and the other. I think that's one of the greatest strengths of Blue Farm, and something they've also been really, really impressed by playing against Austin's Trad Sisse.
Trad.
I love when people are asked, they're like, well, what list of Blue Farm are you on? Are you in the turbo or the mid-range version? Everyone's just like, yes.
I have the mulligan for
It's literally like
Yeah, let me
the
log in
same
first.
90 cards, bro.
Yeah.
I think the only like two distinct versions of Blue Farm are like Maddie and Skies, and then the Turbo version, where you're like, oh, these are very distinct different plans. But like even then, it's still Blue Farm.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, still close
Well-
to 90 cards.
We had a very fun and very long episode of all six of us,
It
which
should have
is
been like 5 hours long, man.
Yeah, dude, we could keep it
I
going.
got work
Yeah, how'd we
tomorrow,
do?
bro. We're at like
Yeah.
2 hours, and by the time we edit, it'll be like a little less than that. But
Nice. Good
Through
work,
the power of robots.
The power of robots.
all right, what's everyone playing this weekend for locals?
I'm switching Rock Thras from more of like a Breach Ice Tail stuff to more of like Kin and Basalt Devoted Druid, because I am taking my own advice and trying to move packages in or out, because I feel like it's the most meta deck I've been interested in a while, and so I'm trying to keep that momentum going. And so before switching to Kinnan or Rogsai, I want to try moving some cards around and see what else I have to learn from the deck, because I'm just
Are
trying
you
to
are you playing the like the relic
relic.
Cloudstone stuff with the legends?
Ooh, I thought about it, dude. I've had a Cloudstone sitting in my binder that I pulled the day the Dockside got banned, and I've never sleeved it up.
I've been playing Cloudstone since the bans in Kodama Thras and Maelstrom Wonder, and like I still think that card is fundamentally broken.
I always forget that it's just non-artifact permanence. It's
It
not
lets you
just
bounce
creatures.
lands.
Yeah.
I played Rockdrass pre MH3, so I didn't have the Tameo, but the Magda and the Ragavan with the Relic Cloudstone was hot.
Jordan, what are you playing this weekend?
I also might play Rock Thras this weekend, or maybe we'll see a Dargo Thras appearance
Oh my God.
before I just lock in to play Farm all week before Rumble.
Austin still playing Sisei?
Yeah, I'll be playing to say.
Nice. Jax?
We're between Shorakai, Rongsai, and Farm. I'm not quite sure which yet.
Are you going on Friday and Saturday?
We'll see. I think so. I missed last week,
what-
so I get some more in there.
What could I do? Can I do you want me to pay for your entry on Friday and I'll let you play Shorakai? Like that would be
Sure, I'll take it around.
Oh, this is what he tried to convince me to do, bro.
Yeah,
Jason needs to
think-
start playing decks for content.
No, bro, I'm at a all-time high on my elo, bro. It's fake. It's fake as fuck, but it feels good.
You broke
Him
2,000.
and Captain Moral Support combined have the largest number of wins in our league. Don't take that away from him.
No, they have like the largest number of wins on top deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we've all got a pretty good weekend ahead of us.
Well,
and
actually,
then-
wait, Logan, what are you
Yeah,
playing?
did you
this
see what you're
weekend?
playing?
Oh yeah, what are you playing?
we're talking about Kirk.
Okay, you're
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
I'm
playing
either-
Cro- no, I need to get that number one screenshot, and then we can start trolling.
Okay.
Jason, after he immediately commandeers a Ristic study, I'm starting to like short.
All right. That's all from us. Any last words? Any hand waves goodbye? All that. Thanks for joining us.
Buy low, sell high.